Here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across the social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Very good morning to you. It is, well, depending on which clock you look at, it's about 4 minutes past 6 o'clock.
It's going to be one of those days, boy.
It certainly is. Which one should we go with? That clock or that clock? Anyway, it's about 4 minutes past 6. Very good morning to you. It definitely is Monday, October the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling, and Goisty is here with me in the studio. Morning, Ali.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you this morning? How was your break? How are you feeling?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. But, you know, we are sort of in the same boat at the moment.
Yes.
You as a Rangers man and me as a Hartlepool
Oh,
man.
dear
They
me.
met pre-season, of course, and here we are on October the 13th, and neither of us have got a manager.
I know. Do you know something? My mate phoned me. Brilliant. Saturday afternoon. He says, Rangers aren't even playing, and they're still spoiling my Saturday. When Stevie Gerrard pulled out, I think Stevie pulled out about 7 o'clock out of the manager's race for the position.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, myself, well, I said I fancied it to be his if he wanted it. Or not if he wanted it, if he did want it and he could get some arrangements and things like that. Obviously, one or two things iron out. But sadly, that wasn't the case. And then, and that was it. We're still in the hunt. It looks like it might be Danny Roll or There's one or two other boys.
Michael Carrick's being mentioned.
Yes,
isn't it?
Michael Carrick's come into the frame. There was somebody else come into the frame the other day there. I can't anyway. So yeah, the two of us, we're in a bit of a state, aren't we?
Well, you think Rangers have got problems. So Hartlepool sacked Simon Grayson on Saturday, or well, on Sunday actually, after they drew at Gainsborough Trinity at the weekend in the FA Cup. I mean, a very fortunate draw by all accounts. I wasn't there, but I was listening to Rob Law's commentary on Radio Tees, and it sounded like we were very fortunate. So Simon Grayson was dispatched. It means Nicky Featherstone is now in temporary charge. I've got a lot of time for Nicky. He's a great bloke. But Nicky will be, wait for it, our 5th manager in a year. None of the last 5 managers have lasted more than 17 games.
I mean, that's not on, is it? It's not on. I mean, that's not even a holiday up in Hartlepool, is it?
Yeah.
17 games.
The writing was on the wall because Neil McDonald.
I thought you were doing okay
sacked beforehand. No, we've won 1 out of 11 in all competitions now. Got a lot of injuries, and it's fair to say we can't score a goal. We don't ever look like scoring a goal. The goal that we did score at Gainsborough to equalise at the weekend was one of these shots that's come back off the crossbar, hit the goalkeeper, and has gone in.
I shouldn't laugh. I've watched Scotland the last 2 games. Honestly.
Yeah. Hey, booed off.
So, do you know something? The first thing, I'm not going to be as hypocritical. I'll save that for after 6:15. 2 great results, right? I'm only interested in the points, and it's given us a chance. Well,
great chance.
We've automatically got playoff game, yeah, which is fabulous. Now, the way I'm looking at it, unless I'm wrong, if we can get something as the first game I think the first game's in Greece. If we can get some, and we can, and you need to beat Denmark at home.
You need a point from Greece, and then you need to beat Denmark at home.
What a chance!
And you're top. You qualified to go to the World Cup.
What a chance!
Absolutely.
And now, I don't know to this day how we managed to beat Greece 3-1, right? Honestly, you wouldn't have, I sat and watched the whole game. It defied logic. But anyway, the boys kept going. They've got something about them. They kept going. Ended up London Knights get the 3rd goal, which, if I say overly flattered, would be an understatement. And then I watched that game yesterday. We didn't play well. They looked miles better than their previous results, but I don't know if that's us making them look miles better than their previous results. But we won the game, and that's all that mattered, because I keep saying it. I'd far rather play poorly and win the game and play brilliantly and lose it. Yeah. So we'll take it.
Alex doesn't agree with you necessarily. He says, I would wholeheartedly boo the Scotland team off the pitch when they play like a bunch of amateurs. I have a long memory. I've never seen such drivellers over the last 2 games. If we intend to play like we did in Germany, we should really consider staying at home. Well, Alex, you might have to yet. I mean, it's not guaranteed that you
Alex,
can
we're not there yet, mate.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. No, I can understand Alex and a few of the Scottish fans' frustrations because it wasn't good.
It wasn't, but, at the end of the day, if you get to the World Cup finals, nobody's going to look back and think, what a terrible performance it was against Belarus.
Yeah, we've not been there since 98. France 98 was the last time Scotland were at the World Cup finals. And the way, I can't lie, the way it's getting harder not to get there, the amount of teams that are going. How many are going this year?
Oh, a million.
I mean, is it 40? It can't be 48. Somebody told me.
Yeah, I think it is. And then it can't be 48. And then they're talking about 64, aren't they, in the future? So
it's ridiculous. I actually looked at my first Euro finals. And there was 8 teams at it.
Yeah. 2 groups of 4.
2 groups of 4.
Yeah.
And it was Germany, the Dutch, and all that kind of stuff going on. And now there's 6. No, there can't be 48 teams going anyway. So we weren't good, but, and it's the biggest but, Stevie and the boys managed to get us 6 points, and I'll take that all day.
Yeah. Steve Clark setting a new record last night
for
the most games managed as a Scotland boss, but he wasn't impressed by what he saw.
Really disappointed, really disappointed. Possibly as disappointed as I've been over the whole 72 games. We just didn't turn up. But before I go down that route and you start asking me questions about why I'm feeling like that, it is also to point out that I said the other night that performances don't get you qualification. And tonight was certainly not a performance, but we got 3 points. We got 6 points for the double header. So we're really pleased about that. I think if everybody in this room that's got a Scottish connection would have been happy to have the 6 points. But the performance tonight was way below par.
Steve Clarke saw a brilliant description of him in one of the newspapers, and I'm paraphrasing because I haven't got it with me at the moment, saying Steve Clarke, regardless of the situation in the game, he always reminds us of a kitchen showroom manager who's concerned that he's left the gas on all of the appliances.
I think the gas was off last night anyway, I can tell you.
I tell you what, though.
Congratulations to him, first of all.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, Jeff.
You know?
I mean, I couldn't see wee Bleeper Brown's record getting beaten.
No.
But that is amazing. 72, 73 games in charge of the country. And, right, we weren't good at the Euros. We weren't good. But he's got us to 2 Euros.
Yeah, I know.
You know? I mean,
people have got short memories.
Yeah. And, Jeff, you forget, I mean, teams have improved. We haven't. I don't think we've improved at the same rate as some other international teams. That's just my own opinion. However, him and the boys have got us a little bit of pride back in terms of we qualified for the Euros when played at Wembley and things like that. And then the last ones, yes, we're disappointed. Of course, we're disappointed. We got battered in Germany, and the Hungary game was non-event, to be brutally honest with you. But at least we've been back on the big stage a couple of times. And if we can get us to the World Cup, I, for one, will be thrilled, and we'll be looking for a slightly better level of performance. And I've got everything. I'm the half fool kind of guy.
If you get to the World Cup finals, by then Ben Doak may have discovered how to cross a ball, and then he'll cause teams problems because he's brilliant. Until he gets to the final ball.
Excuse me. Oh, 100%. I mean, the first 25 minutes, he turned that big left back inside out. He must have thought he was in a revolving door, the big fella, right? And then he gets to the byline, and I don't know whether he's weak in his right foot, but it's as if, you're right, he took the wrong option. But I tell you what, you've got something to work with there. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. You've got something to work there with that kid.
He's still a young man, you know, and he could be the future. He could be the future for Scotland.
Well, I've moaned, Jeff, I have moaned for years about us. What we've got, we've always, in recent years, had solid teams. We've got a solid goalkeeper, a solid back four, solid midfield, and boys up front that'll work hard. That's what we've had.
Yeah.
We've never had anything, really, in a wider area. You look at the back of the great players that we've had, whether it's Jimmy Johnson, Willie Anderson, David Cooper, all those boys in the wing. We've always had talented wingers, and there's been a dearth of them. Now we've got the wee man, and he excites me. He really does. Don't get me wrong. I was up at the seat a couple of times where he crossed it into the stand and things like that. But every time that
you just want them to keep giving him the ball.
Give him the ball. And you know something? I don't care if you lose it. Go and try and take him on and make. I really enjoyed watching him.
But booed off. Let's hear from Andy Robertson on what he made of the reception from the fans after that win last night.
Definitely deserved tonight. When you put in a performance like that and things like that, the reaction was absolutely normal. I didn't agree with the booing at half time against Greece. I'd admit at 0-0, I don't think that's great for us. But today I've got absolutely zero complaints when they see what they're seeing on the pitch, and we're struggling against a team that we should be beating, and we should be beating comfortably. We're not hiding away from that. Then I've got no problems at all. And I think it also was a part of nerves from the fans as well. And rightly so, you know, the last 5 minutes it's 2-1, they throw their big centre backs up, which we should have never have been in that position. So no, completely understand it tonight, and you know, obviously we're going to need them against Denmark at home, and you know, hopefully they can show up and create a special atmosphere for us, but it's up to us to try and create that as well.
Yeah. Obviously they need to take it that far to have a chance. They're going to have to get something in Greece.
No doubt. Absolutely. The goal difference. Need to. It's an absolute must. Must get something in Greece.
Must get something. 03717 223334. Scotland fans, give us a call. Was it right to boo the team off the pitch? Are results the only thing that really matters? We'll hear from you a little later in the morning. Trev has texted, morning to you, Trev. He said, World Cup numbers are a joke. Cornwall could qualify for the next one. No, don't think so, Trev. Don't think so.
But I take your point, Trev.
Up next, we'll turn our attention to the back pages and hear exclusively from the Crystal Palace chairman, Steve Parish.
I can call you Daddy, and Daddy, when you call me, you can call me out.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me, and Paul Simon. Wait for this.
No,
Paul
don't.
Simon is.
Don't do it to me.
Oh, Coisty.
Don't do it to me.
I couldn't believe it. My eyes have been a bit dodgy recently. I thought I've read this wrongly, but I haven't. He is 84 today.
Oh, man alive. Well, last time I was in New York, I took the boys to see the basketball, and he was there.
I was going to say he wasn't playing. He's not as tall as me.
No, he was sitting with a hot dog. He introduced him, that guy that plays the piano, introduced him, and he gave everybody a wave, and he was looking well. Remember that song there? Was it the video with, was it Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Brilliant. Chevy Chase it was Chevy Chase.
But when you think about his age, and you go right back, the Sam and Garfunkel days, which was like mid-60s.
Well, you remember Central Park?
67, yeah. And Mrs. Robinson, and Sounds of Silence, and Homeward Bound. And he went, obviously, when he branched out on his own after the breakup with Art Garfunkel, still crazy after all these years, that was my favourite.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. No doubt. Very talented.
Yeah.
84's destroyed me this morning.
Sorry, mate. Right, let's take a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle baking bread? Improve your take-home dough with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big three networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
And Olivia Bazaglo is looking bemused by us talking about Paul Simon.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah.
I was having a boogie in there.
Great song.
I was saying, it just puts you in a very good mood.
It does?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it does. And we need it on a Monday morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How was your weekend?
Oh, I was on holiday.
Oh, so you were?
Jeff, how was your holiday?
Yeah, it was fantastic, thank you. How was yours?
Well, it was lovely until last night. So you know how I told you about Gibraltar Airport? And you know, I prepare for when you come down, there is a chance you go back up.
Yeah.
I don't do that at Heathrow. Which is what happened to me yesterday.
Was it?
No, I'm not a very good flyer. I panic. So coming down to approach to land at Heathrow, all going smoothly, lovely flight, very chill. And before we've even got near the ground, it just starts going back up again.
Oh, that's better.
And my heart just dropped.
It's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Oh, gosh. And I'm like, are we going to make it? What's going on?
I wish I had £1 for every time it's happened to me at Glasgow.
Does it happen a lot?
Oh, aye.
And you're okay with that?
I don't mind it.
Oh.
The other option's no good, so I quite prefer getting back up.
Yeah, my flight back. My flight back from Portugal, I was sitting next to a couple of people who'd rebooked their flight because they were meant to fly back the day before, but their flight, their flight had to turn back because the front windscreen was cracked.
Oh, I saw a report on that.
Yeah, so they had to turn back to Faro and
A bird strike, was it?
yeah, it was a bird strike.
Oh, no.
And they were rebooked on the. It was Wizz Air, I'll tell you. Okay, so they were rebooked on the next day's Wizz Air flight, which unfortunately was cancelled. So there were a lot of unhappy passengers.
Oh, gosh.
I've had it happen coming into Glasgow on that big Emirates one.
Oh, really?
Oh, aye. That's different. It was
Trying to like...
when the big massive plane comes in and you just see that and it takes off again, that gives you a wee...
I'm just not very good. But anyway, we landed. The runway was closed. And I'm like, well, why didn't anyone tell the pilot before we were about to land that the runway was actually
was closed?
Yeah, something happened with the plane on the runway, so they had to
Oh,
close
right.
it. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Adam Wharton. Of course, he missed out on the England squad, which for me, listen, I love Thomas Tuchel. That was the one decision I couldn't quite get my head round. And on Sunday edition, Crystal Palace chairman... Steve Parish was talking about Adam Wharton and the future of his midfielder.
Look, I think Adam at some point will want to play, either in the Champions League with us, if we could make that happen, or probably with another club. He's an extraordinary talent. I think right now, and I can't speak for Adam, but I think he's focused on his time at Crystal Palace. He had a broken season last season with the groin issues that he had that a lot of young players get. I think this season he's, completely focused on putting the games in, getting in the England squad, being a regular for us, and making sure that he can show that, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, it's a difficult games programme for us right now. So, I think he's very committed to the club.
So that was Steve Parish talking there about Adam Wharton. I think he's quite open and quite honest about how it's going to be fairly difficult to try and keep hold of him. Mm-hmm. But I suppose, Ali, is there any way that Crystal Palace can keep hold of Adam Wharton?
Yeah, of course there is, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've kept Mark Gahey, which might have been the biggest signing for a while. They've obviously lost Alicia Eze and boys like that. I take his point, absolutely. If they want to move on to teams who, generally speaking, maybe not recently, have a better chance of winning things, because Palace have been magic, really have. And who's to say they won't win that European trophy that they're in, however controversial one you think it's in, they've got a chance of winning it. But no, I take his point. Yeah, they probably could keep him, but I think logic would tell you at some point he'll move on.
Jeff, obviously Alan Pardew on Final Word yesterday we picked his England team and he's gone Rice in the 6. I picked mine this morning on early breakfast and I went for Adam Wharton in the 6. Does Adam Wharton, I mean, it was quite a surprise, I think, that he didn't get in the England squad. Would you have him starting for England at the World Cup next summer?
Oh, it's a long way away.
I know. Okay, but if you pick it right now.
As it stands right now, no. You know, I wouldn't have him starting there. But not have him in the squad, well, that is breathtaking. Almost as breathtaking as it is not have Bellingham in the squad or Foden in the squad or Jack Grealish in the squad as well, you know. So as far as Adam Wharton goes, I think he's a fantastic player. Whether he'll stay with Palace or not, I'm not sure whether Steve's tongue was in his cheek there when he said, you know, he wants Champions League football, maybe with us. I mean, that'd be a dream for Palace fans, but it's not really going to happen, is it?
You wouldn't have thought so.
No.
I have to agree with you, but
I wait for the deluge of texts from Palace fans now.
I think it's a sensible statement you make. The only thing I would say, and I'm sure you'll be in agreement, they've been an absolute breath of fresh air. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed watching them, whether it's at Wembley or, you know, down the road at Selhurst Park. They've been excellent, and more strength to them. Yeah, but I think top 4 would be a stretch.
It's a stretch, isn't it, to say the least? But look, you know, Wharton's been fantastic for them. Needs to keep himself fit.
I'll tell you the one I would say hasn't even got a mention, and I think it's his jersey to lose, and that's Elliot Anderson. I think he has been absolutely terrific.
Is he?
Terrific.
Is he? I thought he was an 8 though. For like, would you want Elliot Anderson sitting next to Declan Rice? Because I love Elliot Anderson. He's been absolutely brilliant and deserving.
I know.
Of any England caps.
England need 2 6. I don't
Depends
know
who we're playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think in current form, what was the game I saw him? He was brilliant. It was over by Serbia. I thought he was tremendous. And then I saw him on the Saturday at the Arsenal, and I thought he was excellent as well. So I think, you know, he's one of the ones that's his kind of jersey to lose. But no, I take your point. I mean, we do it all the time. I'm critical of it, and I'm the one that does it. And that's when the England squad comes out, we speak to the players that aren't there.
Exactly. And by the way, I mean, obviously, in the World Cup finals, we don't need 2 sitting midfielders if we're playing Cornwall.
That's true.
We had a text little bit. The way things go, Cornwall will qualify for the World Cup final. No, not personal. No, public. So, you know.
Okay, and just finally, in the back page of The Sun this morning, there's been a lot of talk about Florian Wirtz, right? Obviously, at the time, was the Premier League's most expensive signing. Obviously, then Alexander Isak came. Jurgen Klopp has come out and said he is a once-in-a-century talent. His quality is so outstanding. Obviously, he's yet to register a goal or an assist, and it's not just about that, I don't think. But obviously, when you go for that much money, Ali, people are going to focus on that. Have you seen any glimpses so far?
Oh, yeah.
To suggest that he is as a once-in-a-century talent?
No, I'm not sure I'd go that far. I think Jurgen's maybe going over the top there. But I've certainly seen glimpses. He's a very, very talented player, but probably not enough. But then there's more focus on him. The left back's not get going either. Kerkez, Frimpong's not really get going. There's maybe 3 or 4 other signings haven't really get going, but obviously we focus on the one that they paid the most money on. But I've certainly seen glimpses he can clearly. I mean, the opening game at the Community Shield when he linked up with Ikatike, and I thought, man, there's plenty going on there, but he hasn't yet kicked on, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he will. I'm sure he will come good. As far as Klopp's, I mean, it's a bit of hyperbole from Klopp, isn't it? You know, but I think he's a fantastic player. I thought so before he came here. We haven't seen the best of him, not by a million miles yet, but I'm sure he will as time goes on. Olivia, thank you very much.
Thanks, Olivia.
Thank you.
And that was a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business at about 6:29. Coming up, we ask the question, what would England do without Harry Kane? That's next.
The Back Page Review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle baking bread? Improve your take-home dough with business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big 3 networks. For verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were absolutely sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money, but instead of entering league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. Think of it like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, and it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil, and the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil.
Good morning, 6:35. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our good friends at Arnold Clark. Get £750 off any used electric car or home charger.
By the way, we never mention it. What a game tonight. Is it Northern Ireland at home to Germany?
Yep, it is. And Wales home to Belgium, both massive games.
I tell you, there was a couple of results for me that really stuck out, and it was Northern Ireland's victory against Slovakia.
Oh, they were brilliant.
2-0 beat, and they beat Germany the game before, I think, or certainly the game before, I mean 2-0. So that is massive, absolutely massive.
It is massive. Michael O'Neill, we were talking about him off air beforehand. What a job he's done now. We'll talk about it a lot more. And the Wales game, by the way.
Faroe Islands. Wait to show you. You're looking at me. I couldn't believe it. Was it Saturday, the Faroe Islands? I need to get up here. I should have been organised. Might have been Friday. They had they beat somebody 4-0 in Montenegro.
Oh, wow.
They beat, in the first game on Thursday or something like that. And then they won again. I mean, I don't think they're going to qualify. But they beat somebody 2-1 at home. I think it might be in the Czech Republic. Honestly, the Faroe Islands have had two ridiculous results, Jeff. Ridiculous.
It's that pre-match meal of puffin and chips, isn't it? That does it. Now, England have been blessed with some of the best number 9s the game has ever seen, including current captain Harry Kane. But what next after their all-time leading scorer?
And on comes the Tottenham youngster to take his bow. Harry Kane's England career starts here.
I still remember it like it was yesterday. I mean, it was one of my best moments, one of my proudest moments in an England shirt.
Harry Kane has his first goal within 2 minutes of coming on.
Left footed effort has deflected in. It's 6. It's Harry Kane. He didn't know too much about it, but there is his Panama hat-trick.
For me, he's the greatest ever in England. He scores every game.
Harry Kane, history maker and record breaker, the most prolific of the lot.
I knew we get a big personality into our dressing room on top of everything what you can analyze, goal scoring and movements and assisting and dealing with the pressure. You know it.
He is the man who steps forward and gets on the end of things when you least expect it almost.
So going way back to Sir Jeff Hurst, England have never been short of a striker. Gary Lineker, Alan Shearer, Mike Lohan, Wayne Rooney. And now, of course, Harry Kane, the main man up top. But the Bayern Munich striker is now 32. So is there a legitimate contender to fill his very sizable shoes? How concerned, Coisty, should England fans be about the lack of a possible a replacement for Kane?
You're going to struggle to fill. Well, I mean, you just need to look at what he's achieved in terms of his goal scoring. It's remarkable. I can see the question there underneath it. Is he weirdly underappreciated? I think he probably is in some quarters. There's some people I've heard criticise him by saying he doesn't score important goals, which I find astounding, really. Harry Kane will take some replacing. You think of the goals he scored for Tottenham, you think of the goals he scored for England, you think of the goals he scored for Bayern Munich. It's just, Jeff, it's off the chart. So naturally, when you've got somebody like that who you can rely on for goals, there'll be a question mark when he stops playing, and can you replace him? As it happens, I don't see that happening in the immediate future, because I think he'll continue to play. Because I think he's one of these strikers that doesn't rely on blistering pace. I think strikers with blistering pace, once that goes, they find it very, very difficult. But I think Kane's got far more to his game than... I don't think he has blistering pace, to be brutally honest. It's probably one of the few things that he hasn't got. So, bearing that in mind, I think if he stays fit, he's there for a wee while yet, or a good while yet.
Yeah,
and I hope he is.
Completely agree. But in a way, I mean, whoever eventually does step into his shoes, it's a bit like trying to follow Sir Alex Ferguson at Old Trafford, isn't it? I mean, how do you do that? And the obvious contenders, Ollie Watkins got his goal against Wales. And even though he's not playing in England at the moment, that he's out inside, I guess, Ivan Toney. But they're not long-term replacements, are they? Because they're both on the verge of being 30 themselves, already 2 years younger than Harry Kane.
What have you got, young boys? Liam Delap, who's been injured at Chelsea. Anything else? Really?
Well, I tell you what, Liam Delap is an obvious choice, and the England management must be hoping that he does come good eventually. Not for this World Cup. It's going to come too soon for him. But ahead of the Wales trip to Wembley last week, excuse me, their former boss Rob Page, who's now the head coach of Liverpool under-21s, said keep an eye on Jayden Danns for the future, as well as Rio Ungamoha.
Yeah, he's a special talent, Gab. I'm not going to lie. He's, in high-pressured situations as well, he manages to step up. There's such a calmness about him. But what a humble kid, I've got to be honest. First and foremost, I'm impressed by his attitude. He wants to learn. He works at it every single day. He doesn't switch up. But I got Jayden Danns here as well, who's probably going to be the next England number 9 in years to come.
Wow.
And their attitude is exemplary. Honestly, they're a credit to their families. It's first class. Whereas many kids in some academies, you see that they get carried away. But for some reason here, and I think it's the upbringing they've had and the influence they've had through the academy system, that they're grounded and very humble people.
So we talk young players, and Rob Page there saying Jayden Danns be England's next number 9.
No, in Liverpool.
How? I was going to say how.
No chance. If he moves, he's got a chance.
Yeah, he's played 18 minutes in the Premier League for Liverpool over the last...
Well, no, I take Rob's point, and I don't mean to shoot him down in flames. And I'm not shooting him down in flames, because you're obviously a really talented kid.
Absolutely.
That has impressed Rob Page. Yeah, and he's maybe thinking Rob's maybe thinking longer term, right? There ain't no way that kid's breaking in and playing regular in Liverpool's first team, really, unless something remarkable happens. You never say never, but as I said, we saw the other lad come in and he scored important goals, Newcastle, and he looks the real deal. But even he'll not play on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So for Jayden Danns, who Rob obviously really thinks is going places, if he's going to be next England number 9 in the immediate future, he won't be doing it playing with Liverpool.
And thereby lies the difficulty, because unless it's a permanent move, Liverpool are not going to be loaning him to a Premier League rival, are they?
No.
You would imagine.
You'd have thought
Does he go abroad? And if you go abroad, you can get forgotten. And I'm thinking of Tammy Abraham as a prime example of this.
Absolutely. I know, Tony's away to a different mentality, doesn't it?
But Abraham
was doing
was
well.
a go-to replacement, if you like.
Yeah.
When he was at Roma, he's got 11 England caps as well. He's on loan at Besiktas now. He's doing well. I think he's got 8 and 13.
I think
but he's a completely forgotten man.
Yeah. It's definitely out of sight, out of mind. I think I agree with you with Tammy Abraham. And there's no doubt about it. Listen, Thomas Tuchel, of course, he'll keep an eye on players. That's his job, and he'll have boys going to games all over Europe. No doubt about it. But it would have to look, in this case, with Tammy Abraham. The Ivan Toney one's an interesting one as well, Jeff. I mean, I probably think no matter how many goals he scores over there, he's going to find it difficult to get an England number 9 job because of where he's playing. Now, there's an argument against that, clearly. If he's doing the business and he's playing his full potential, he should be considered. But I don't think
well, would Jordan Henderson have been considered for a place in the England squad when he was in Saudi? I think the answer is no.
No, the answer is no. And I think Tammy Abraham's a kind of exact example of being out of sight, out of mind. But getting back to the Harry Kane thing, the obvious one's Ollie Watkins. I mean, but I take your point. He's only a couple of years younger, but that Ollie Watkins would be, for me, the obvious choice of Harry Kane's not fit.
Yeah.
No Morgan Rogers scored at the weekend, but as a proper out and out 9, definitely.
We've got real dearth, though, haven't we, of them? I mean, if you look through the Premier League, Dominic Solanke, obviously has lots of fitness issues.
He's been injured, hasn't he?
Yeah. 3 England caps in 8 years, no start. So a lot of England managers have looked at him and not fancied him.
Yeah.
Eddie Nketiah, if he could nail down a Crystal Palace starting place, but with Mateta there, that's unlikely, isn't it?
Of course it is. I mean, Crystal Palace are playing the FA Cup final tomorrow. Unfortunately, Eddie's not starting. He's starting Mateta. That goes without saying. So how can you possibly have somebody that's not going to start for Crystal Palace starting for England? It just won't happen.
I mean, the alternative, I guess, if you are looking to replace Kane, and it's a big if, is that you convert someone like, Anthony Gordon or Jared Bowen and have them playing as a central striker.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Gordon, I think he's a terrific player and I enjoy watching him. Never a number 9 in a million years. Never a million. It could be a stopgap, and could he play there? Yes. I don't think there's any doubt he could do it. But if you're going to, there is absolutely no way anybody convinced me that Anthony Gordon's an out-and-out number 9. There's a lot of his best stuff in wide areas, and that for me is where he should play. I think he's excellent in there. You'll get games. Well, Arsenal did it with Havertz for as long, didn't they? Where they play him in that, they call it the false 9, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you are in extreme difficulty if Harry Kane gets injured. Of that, there is no doubt. I mean, people can say this, that, and the next thing about him. I think a lot of nonsense. I think his goal return, wherever he's been, is unquestionably excellent. You've got a problem if he gets injured, definitely. But you look, we mentioned that Liam Delap's injured. There's nobody else. I'm trying to think. There's nobody else.
No.
Nobody.
No. The good news, and I think you're going to agree with this, is for me, Harry Kane will not just be leading the England line in this World Cup, but he'll be doing so in 2030 as well. I
think you're probably
right. He'll be 36.
Yeah, you're right.
Teddy Sheringham played for England against Brazil, World Cup quarterfinals in 2002. He was 37. And with the advances in sports sciences and the similarities between Sheringham and Kane, aren't there?
That's my point. Yeah. That's exactly my point. Both excellent players. I would suggest neither of them main gift was blistering pace. Main gift, I would have thought, was in football intelligence, and particularly Harry putting the ball in the back of the net. Terry was different class, could do all sorts, but neither of them had blistering pace. So therefore, they can play and play and play, and good luck to them.
Yeah. Wonder how many goals Harry Kane will have scored by 2030.
Amazing, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, look at his record in at Bayern. 73 and 69 league games. How many it is?
That's
off the scale.
Remarkable.
Off the scale.
And by the way, while we're on it, the big fella again, Haaland got another hat-trick for Norway.
Yeah.
his international. Somebody told me, I think, or somebody told me, I heard it in the radio. I want to say he's got 49 and 46 in international football.
Wow, amazing. Just amazing. But Harry Kane fits the bill now, and we think he'll fit the bill not just for the next World Cup, but for the one after that as well. Billy has texted in and said, Jeff and Ali together is like walking into a pub and seeing Stella and Peroni on tap. Lovely. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Coming up, we turn our attention to Jack Wilshere, who's set to be announced as the new Luton Town manager today. Is that the right move for both parties? We'll discuss that next. Good morning, Monday, October the 13th. It is very nearly 6:52. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. Scotty, the chair boy on the Isle of Wight, says seeing Jeff and Ali together is like walking into a theatre. and seeing Waldorf and Statler sat in the box. Thank you very much indeed for that. Tommy's texted in, by the way, our discussion about replacements for Harry Kane. And he says, why does everyone always forget about Chris Wood? He'd be a great replacement for Kane. I don't think that Chris Wood's ever going to replace Harry Kane in the England squad, Tommy. Just a feeling I've got. It's nothing more than that. Olivia is back with us. Hi again, Olivia.
Hello. I'm here to talk about Jack Wilshere because it could be very close to being announced that he is going to be the new Luton boss. That's after they sacked Matt Bloomfield. They're 11th in League One. It's been a bit of a fall from grace from Luton, obviously in the Premier League less than a year and a half ago. Ali, this is Jack Wilshere, who, he said he wants to go into management, says he wants to be a head coach. Obviously, he was in interim charge of Norwich at the end of last season. Yep. Is this a good move for him? Has Jack Wilshere got this job because he's Jack Wilshere?
No.
Player Jack Wilshere?
No,
name Jack Wilshere?
He's got it because he loves the game. He's done his coaching. He's done his badges, I would imagine. He's tested the water, and that's what he wants to do. And Luton have seen something in him to give him the opportunity, perhaps.
Risky.
Of course it's risky, but everything's a risk. The only thing that you can hope for, particularly if you're a young coach starting out, is you get the support of your owner or the board. That's all you can hope for, and then take your chances. And timing is everything. Not hang about. If you get a little bit of success, don't hang about. There's me. I'm not, say don't be loyal, but timing in life is everything. So if you get the job done and you get a chance for another move, you need to take it. Simple as. Because you look at
sorry, go on.
I look at Luton, and I saw Luton numerous occasions when they're on the top flight, Jeff, and I didn't half enjoy going there.
Yeah,
I don't mind telling you, I loved going there. Great atmosphere. I can remember Declan Rice scoring late on when they were fortunate to get the points, and it was a brilliant game. I did the game, but it just shows you how easy it can be. Bang, all of a sudden you're there, and then within 18 months, 2 years, you're up against it. But getting back to Jack Wilshere, he clearly thinks it's time for it, mate, to give it a go, and the very best of luck for him. And I hope he gets the support he needs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big risk. It's a big risk for Luton, in particular. But any appointment is a risk, as we've seen time. I mean, and we have seen countless big name players fail management. We have seen some succeed as well. For my concern for Jack is expectation at Luton. What has he got to do? They're mid-table at the moment. Well, that's not good enough for Luton. So he has to get, playoff minimum, but I would think, actually, that he'll be being told he has to get automatic promotion. That's a big ask for a young manager in his
I think that's a massive ask.
I know that. Surely they can't expect to bring in Jack Wilshere, who's had next to no managerial experience, and expect him to get them promoted.
I think that's exactly what they'll expect. Exactly. They've invested in the club. As you said, they were a Premier League side a couple of seasons ago. They don't see themselves as a mid-table League One side. I think he will be expected to produce pretty much instantaneous results. Look, they're not too far off it at the moment.
No
Tom Lockyer, though. He's just left, hasn't he? He's been a big part of...
I heard him on the radio, actually. It was Tom on... Would I be right in saying he was doing the Welsh game? England.
I think he was doing some punditry.
He's a free agent now, isn't he?
Yeah, but obviously anything else is changing personnel at clubs all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think, I take Jeff's point. Will he get caught any slack because of his age and because of who he is? No, he won't.
No.
He won't. He'll be expected to get results, simple as.
Yeah, and he actually started his young career, Jack Wilshere, in the Luton Academy.
Didn't know that.
Before he went to Arsenal.
Wow.
Yeah, he went to Arsenal at the age of 9, but he actually started off at Luton. So he's gone home.
Look, he's certainly gonna get the respect, of players who can relate to him because of his age. At least in the early stages, mind you, respect soon dissipates if you don't get results early doors. So, a lot of pressure on Jack. Just wish him well, because it's a...
Well, he's been great, hasn't he?
Lovely guy.
He really is. That's the first thing you've got to say. He's a smashing lad, and we all wish him all the best, but that doesn't guarantee success. You've got to go out there and do it and get your team winning games, and winning points and getting up the league. I mean, it's a heck of a challenge, Jeff. It really is a heck of a challenge. I mean, if you get them up automatically this season,
achievement.
I'd have that done as some achievement.
Yeah. Good luck to you, Jack. That is
Best
for
of luck,
sure.
mate.
Expected to be appointed as the new Luton Town manager today. Olivia, thank you very much.
Thanks,
indeed.
Olivia.
Thank you.
All right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
Everywhere around the world, they're coming to America.
Yeah, the 2026 World Cup is heading for America as well as Canada and Mexico, of course. Will Scotland be there? Last night's victory over Belarus confirmed a playoff spot. 03717 223344 is the number to call. You've got a great chance of qualification, but Scottish fans still booed the team off. Was that the right thing to do? Give us a call this morning. We'll be talking to Sean Maloney next. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
They're coming to America.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
Even involves Sir David Attenborough. I know. Well, here's the tale. Tennis is widely known to be a French sport. It dates back to the 12th century when people used handmade balls, and it was then called tennis, which is the verb to hold in French. And people used some pretty wacky material to make the balls with. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, and even human hair. A few centuries on, Germany got dead into the tennis too, but wanted to make a few modifications to the ball to make it a bit more effective. Around this time, an American chemist had just created something called vulcanized rubber. Out of that, people started developing air-filled rubber balls, which were properly bouncy, but either red or grey in colour. These were manufactured in Melton Mowbray. That's right, the home of the pork pie. One problem, the balls kept on breaking on impact with the racket. The call of new balls please seemingly coming over every other point. Step forward English lawyer and tennis enthusiast John Moyer Heathcote. who suggested balls be covered in flannel to stop them from degrading. And thus the modern-day tennis ball was born. But these were white or black, so how did they become yellow? Well, in 1967, the controller of BBC Two, one Sir David Attenborough, decided the corporation should show Wimbledon on colour TV. He got his wish, and it was wide into people's homes across the country. The only sticking point, the white balls were nearly impossible to see on the screen. So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing a new ball that would be visible even without the need for 4K LED displays. Not that anyone had that in the late 60s. After rigorous testing, they came up with the colour optic yellow and decided every ball be coated in that colour from there on in. And there you have it. Tennis balls are yellow, all because Sir David Attenborough wanted to watch Wimbledon from the comfort of his own front room. You could say the ITF aced it.
Good morning, 4 minutes past 7. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. On the way for you this morning, comedian and Forest fan Matt Ford on what he makes of Big Ange's rule at the City Ground so far. We'll build up to two massive games tonight for Northern Ireland and Wales with David Healy and Ian Rush. They weren't too shabby as strikers, were they? And Swindon boss Ian Holloway will join us with his side flying in League Two at the moment. Had a weekend off. Wonder what he did with that. We shall ask him. Before all that, though, Scotland picked up 2 wins from 2 in the international break, but not everyone is happy with what they've seen.
Scotland get the 3 points. They didn't play very well. Well, certainly not for the first 60 minutes or so, but they've won it here. Scotland 3, Greece 1.
I thought we were terrible. I cannot believe we won that game last night. I'm still in shock.
It was among the worst Scotland performances of Steve Clarke's 71 games in charge.
I've got to say it, we were rank.
Oh, not heard that word in 20 years.
We were rank. Yeah.
That's a terrible word.
Scotland not at their best. They were booed off by the fans. But listen, they used all their experience to get a crucial win. Scotland 2, Belarus 1.
We have to play a lot better than we have done today if we want to achieve our dream, that's for sure.
I would rather play like that and win a game than be brilliant and lose, because we've done that plenty of times.
Everybody in this room that's got a Scottish connection would have been happy to have the 6 points, but the performance tonight was way below par.
Yeah, it was hard work, but at Coisty, 6 points from 2 games. If you'd have been offered that beforehand, you'd have snapped your hand off.
Of course you would, without any shadow of doubt, right? Because, and I've said it 100 times, I don't care who you are, the result's the most important thing. The result, by far and away, is the most important thing. Then, if you get the result, it's kind of nice to put in a level of performance that you're happy with and your fans are happy with. That didn't happen, but the first thing happened, and that's the most important thing for me.
Well, let's get some more reaction on this with the former Scotland striker, Sean Maloney. Morning, Sean.
Good morning, Sean.
Morning, guys.
Hey, Sean, let's start with the positives, shall we? If Scotland were to reach the World Cup finals, what would that mean for Scottish football?
Oh, it'd been an incredible achievement. I think it's been so long for players, ex-players, fans. It would be an amazing achievement. So it's really interesting listening to all the reaction from last night, yeah.
It's amazing listening to it. I mean, I've come in this morning, Sean, and I watched both games right through. And yeah, of course, we were disappointed. I don't think there's any doubt about it in general play in both games. But how many times have we rued our bad luck and been disappointed with performances? We should have deserved more, whether it's a result here, a result there. So I don't know where you are, mate. I'm of the opinion, yeah, can we play better? Yes. Will we play better? Yes. But if somebody offers you 6 points and a pretty realistic and hopeful chance of qualification for a World Cup, which we haven't done since 1998, then you've got to say we've got to be fairly happy, surely.
I'm on your side. I think in these games, we've had 4 games in the competition. I think you're right. We would love to have 4 games of performances where you're 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, but we've got the results done. I understand against the bigger teams, and we have 2 games coming up, our performance might have to get to a level to basically get us there in first spot. But to be where we are right now, I think it's a brilliant achievement. After 4 games, Greece are a really good side.
Yeah,
they showed that against us in March. They've showed it against England, France, Germany. For us to already be past them in this group, I'm with you. I think it's a brilliant set of results so far.
I mean, when you look at that Scotland lineup now, yeah, in some respects, when you compare it with some Scotland sides, it's beyond your wildest dreams. You got the Italian contingent with Billy Gilmore and Scott McTominay and Shea Adams, by the way. I thought took his goal absolutely brilliant. You've got John McGinn on one side. You've got the potential, the limitless potential of Ben Gannon-Doak on the other side as well. I mean, this could be a fantastic era for Scottish football, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it has been as well. I think it's been really positive from where it was. I think this generation's probably as strong as a group of players that we've had since the time when we were qualifying, 98. Yeah, we've got a brilliant group of players. I think with international football, it's never perfect. The performance is very difficult to create that with 3-4 days training, sometimes less. But the actual players, I was really impressed with them against Greece. It wasn't a particularly amazing performance, but the actual mentality of that group to go and grind out a very, very difficult opponent. Yeah, the individually players are good. I just think at international, Ali said it a few minutes ago, the results are the most important. The performances, it's almost impossible to get a perfect performance from 3 days training.
Sean, tell me, I want to ask you, if I may, about Ben Gannon-Doak, because one of my, not complaints, more than anything, it's been a disappointment that we haven't had MD really for many years in a wide area that can do something different, go and beat players, go and commit players, bit of pace, do something different. I think we've got it now. I think Jeff's spot on with his assessment. I think we've got some terrific players now, particularly in the middle of the park. But I've always said we need something a little bit different. Now, I've watched them both games, and like wingers, and you know what I mean. I love wingers, but they can frustrate you. They can frustrate you. I think he does some absolutely brilliant things. I said to my boys sitting watching it, man, I really enjoy watching him, mate, because I think he's got something different. He takes people on. He'll give the ball away. His final ball won't be good, But I think there's particularly something there that we can work with, and I can just see him. The Scottish fans are willing him to do well.
Yeah, no, he's got amazing talent. I think when we watched him, was it Croatia where he played against Vardiol?
Yes,
and he just was. Do you know, we've been crying out for a play like this for ages. We'd love more of them. He's so young. We put the expectation of our whole sort of attacking on that side down to him. But I'm with you. I love him. He's young. I think generally young wingers are gonna be up and down before they start to really impact the game. But yeah, what he can do, there's nobody else in the squad that can do 1v1s like him or give us that threat. Yeah, as a 9, I'm sure your experience is better than mine. I'm sure he might frustrate a few for a couple more years before he hits the heights. He's so young, man. But he's good. He's really, really good, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the other issue is putting the ball in the back of the net, isn't it? And I thought Shea Adams took his goal really, really well last night. And he's a player I've always liked, and I think he's flourishing in Italy. But you are a bit thin on the ground up front, aren't you, Sean?
Yeah, but I think Shea's doing okay, and Dykes plays his role really well. Yeah, I think Adams is having a brilliant time in Italy, but he's a good player. He does what we need him to do. He can do a little bit of everything. If we have to use him to link, he can do. If it has to be the longer ball, he's good at that as well. And he's a goal threat. I think what we're very good at recently is set plays as well. Look, there's different ways to win games. I saw the Greece game against Denmark last night. Denmark scored 2 corners. We are good at set plays, and we are a goal threat. When you cross that ball against us, we have McGinn, McTominay. We've got lads that can chip in with goals from crosses. Yeah.
What do you think, Sean? Looking at it, because I'm obviously very, very hopeful, and I'm half full rather half empty. I think we can get something to Greece. I actually think the Greece game, fingers crossed, might actually suit us a little bit. I think we showed at Hampden when they had the vast majority of possession. You know, defensively we're organised. We've got a little bit, as we mentioned, a little bit of pace, something different with Ben Doak. If we can go over there and get anything at all, which I think we're more than capable of getting, then dear me, you wouldn't want to miss being at Hampden for that Denmark game, would you?
No, that would be amazing if we could go there with a chance of qualifying ahead of them. I think, it'll be tough in Greece. I really like Greece. I've watched them a few times. I really think they play some nice stuff. But we always seem to be a threat. Whether we have possession, whether we don't for long periods, we have got ways to score. So I actually liked what the man just said. I think I think we can play loads better. Results are the main thing. I think we will need better performances next month, but we've got it in us. If you look at the players that we have, we've got some very, very talented boys. So we can definitely beat them over there. In my opinion, I think we can beat Denmark when we're at our very best. We just have to get to that level. Hampden would be an amazing place to be if we could go into that game and with the chance of beating Denmark to qualify. It'd be someplace.
Brilliant, Sean. Fingers crossed. Thanks for joining us.
Great to see you, Sean. Thanks for your time, mate.
Good to see you, Ali. See you guys.
Take care, mate.
Man who made over 40 appearances for Scotland, Sean Maloney. There.
Oh, I remember one of his goals. He cut in at Celtic Park, bent one in. Was it against the Republic? He bent one in the far. Brilliant goal. Talented, really talented, really talented.
But the gist of it is, to qualify automatically, Scotland effectively have to get something in Greece because Denmark have a game at home to Belarus, which they will win.
Well, the goal difference,
certainly.
Even at this moment in time.
Exactly. So assuming that Denmark win that game, Scotland have got to get something in Greece and then beat Denmark.
Do you know what I was hoping for? I can't lie to you. I was hoping it was a head-to-head before the goal difference, because I've done that a couple of times, but it's not, is it? It's definitely a goal difference before the head-to-head.
Yeah. So, but look, you know, Scotland can make sure that's irrelevant.
Just want to get into the final game.
Yeah. Yeah, get that point in Greece, minimum point in Greece, and then beat Denmark in the last game. By no means impossible. In fact, entirely possible. We've got our fingers crossed because we all know major international tournaments, you know, they're not the same without the Scots. We didn't love the Scottish performances on the field in Germany, but off the field.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
Brought a whole new dimension to the Euros. Coming up after Harry Kane, is Jordan Pickford the second name on the England team sheet? We'll discuss that next. Morning all, 7:20. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. The latest episode of the 21 Minutes to Go podcast with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy is out now. This week the boys chat about mystery voices, the world-famous midnight train to madness, and we hear about Cundy's questionable search history.
If you were sat by the computer now, Google's open, what are you typing in?
Man marries pig. Right.
Have you ever done that? Have you typed that in?
Yeah. Man marries monkey.
No. Right, where are these?
Man, I typed in man marries monkey, right? And I've read this whole article and I'm thinking this is great. And apparently what happened was this whole village turned up, right, to watch this
ceremony.
The ceremony, right? And he married two monkeys.
Right, where are we going with that?
I don't know. Look, obviously coming from Hartlepool, I'm an expert on the life of monkeys. Although death of monkeys, actually, more than anything else. But, you know, look, you fancy spending 21 minutes of your life listening to utter nonsense, go and enjoy 21 Minutes to Go. It's now available on your favourite podcast provider. We were talking about Ben Doak in Scotland. How brilliant he can be, but how frustrating he is. A young man, long way to go, massive potential. But Alexander's texted in saying, frustrating wingers, Ali, Ted McMinn. Which your name, obviously, that means something to you.
Oh, man alive, Ted. I think Ted, I tell you, we played in Ted McMinn's testimonial at Derby. Right? Piercy played. And there had been 2 internationals at Derby at Pride Park, and it was the biggest attendance ever at Pride Park. Rangers played them in a testimonial. I saw Ted was genius, man. Ted would... I mean, he's one of these guys, you mention his name, and first thing I do is laugh. He was just a magical guy, a great guy to play with. I saw Ted McMinn do something at Ibrox, Jeff, in front of 40 or 50,000 fans I've never seen since, and I'll never see again. Right?
I'm worried about this.
You get a ball, this is the gospel truth. You get the ball just inside his own 18-yard box and went on a run that only Ted McMinn could go on. Right? He was knocking it round the other side of boys and running one side and putting it through their legs. Right? And he ended up up the Rangers end, up the Copeland Road. He ended up going to cross it with Tom and Doak, and we've all done it. He goes to cross it with his right foot after a 90-yard run, and sadly for Ted and the centre forward, who namely was myself waiting on the cross, touches it with his left foot just as he swings at it with his right. Completely misses it. Ends his up on his backside and gets a standing ovation. He did, Jeff, I swear to God. He's kicked his own backside. He's ended on the ground, and the entire Rangers ended up cheering him. There's only one Ted McMinn. Oh, man alive. I loved him. Love him.
Let's hear them then, guys. Let's hear your frustrating wingers. I'm sure we're going to get a list of every winger who's ever played the game, by the way.
Exactly.
But, yeah, frustrating winners. Ted McMinn, that sets the standard. Right, Olivia's back with us to talk about this man.
Akanji stands motionless, addresses the ball right-footed. Pickford saves, diving to his left. Comfortable stop, not a great penalty. Pickford went the right way, and the rest was easy.
Jordan Pickford.
Yes,
Olivia.
Jordan Pickford, because on the back of the Times this morning, Pickford set to sign a new Everton deal. He's going to sign a new contract before their return to Premier League action against Manchester City. On the weekend, he, of course, joined Everton from Sunderland 8 years ago for £30 million. And it looks like he is going to be there for a good few years more, signing that new deal. Obviously, an incredible record he's got for England as well. Broke a record of 8 consecutive clean sheets. The record previously set by Gordon Banks.
Wow.
And it could be 9 against Latvia, probably will be 9, should be 9 against Latvia, which will be his 80th cap for England. Tony Cascarino said he's up there with England's best ever keepers. I'll start with you, Jeff, being English. Would you agree?
It's difficult to compare people from different eras.
Yeah.
Statistics can make anything of it. I mean, the clean sheet statistic is a nonsense because, of course, Gordon Banks didn't play against the quality of side that Jordan Pickford plays against. That's not Jordan Pickford's fault. He's a brilliant goalkeeper. I think he is possibly the first name that goes down on the team sheet. I don't think he's got, with all due respect, I don't think he's got many serious challenges, and it's great that Everton have nailed him down, because without him, Everton would be a championship side by now.
Well, here's my question to you. We spoke, 15, 20 minutes ago, who's going to come in for Harry Kane if he gets injured? Is that a bigger problem? If your goalkeeper gets injured, what have you got? Dean Henderson,
Nick
Ramsdale,
Nick
Nick Pope, Trafford.
I imagine it would probably be Dean Henderson right now. No?
Yeah, I think it would be at the moment.
Yeah.
You know,
But I
Nick
think
Pope appears to have fallen out of favour.
Yes.
Well, I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper.
So do I.
James Trafford's totally unproven, and he's gone to City and now can't get a game, for obvious reasons with Donnarumma coming in.
So it's probably Dean Henderson would be the automatic one, do you think? Or maybe
I
not
think-
automatic, but
I think right now he would be.
Yeah, he would. Because
Yeah.
we have,
Pickford's
we have
been-
a
Pickford's
real
been
lack of
excellent.
alternatives.
Yeah.
A real lack of alternatives.
Are you surprised, Ali, that he's stayed at Everton all these years, or that
I'm not.
or that perhaps maybe not that he's stayed there, but perhaps no other club has really come in for him?
I'm not so sure. I think he's obviously very, very happy at Everton, and that goes a long way. Everton fans clearly think he's been fabulous, and Jeff makes a very, very valid point. Some of his performance, you could argue, have kept Everton in the top flight, and obviously looking to kick on now at the new stadium. No, I wouldn't say I'm surprised. He's obviously, sometimes you get players that just go into an environment where they're really happy, really content, families, everything, the whole thing, the whole setup's great, and that certainly looks to be the case. I think he's an excellent keeper. I really do.
You mentioned, obviously, making saves that have kept Everton in the Premier League. Jeff, he's also a big reason why England have stayed in World Cups and Euros. His performances in penalty shootouts, his mentality, do you think that's been a big reason why England have, over the last few years, been successful in penalty shootouts?
I'm not so sure. I think penalty shootouts are a total lottery. Of course, a lot of research goes into them now. Of course they do. And yes, some psychology goes into it as well. But I'm not so sure about that. I just think that he is, by far the best of his generation. And long may it continue. And he is a character as well.
Exactly.
I mean, he batters his fellow defenders,
I love
doesn't
it.
he? Regardless of whether it's their fault or his. But
Well, the general conception is, if you're not, out with the opinion of goalkeepers, the goalkeepers, generally speaking, are half-daft, right? That's the general consensus about everybody else in the team.
Yeah.
And I think he probably fits that. I mean, I don't know the lad, but he probably fits that bill perfectly. He just looks as if, you'd say something about Pickford, Jeff. I don't know the lad, but I look at him and I think he'd be a great teammate.
Oh, yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? You just don't want to get on the wrong side of him.
Well, he's a goalie, isn't he?
Yeah. Olivia, thank you very much.
Thanks, Olivia.
Indeed. Just a little, it's an international break, but a little Mjolby update, of course, at this stage.
Point required, is it?
Point required. Well, 3 effectively. I mean, goal difference. They've got a better goal difference than the nearest side chasing them. So they are 11 points clear, 4 games left.
Done.
So it's pretty much done.
Done.
Crunch time will be next Monday. It's a Monday game in Gothenburg, which is not easy. Of course, it could be theirs by then if Hammarby slip up on Sunday at home to AIK Solna. But Mjolby right on the brink.
Brilliant.
Exciting time.
Can't believe they haven't invited us over for
Frustrating wingers. Here's a couple for you. Peter Beagrie, old mate of mine, Peter. Supremely talented, says Jim. The only man I've seen who used to beat the player, then try and beat himself after it before he decided to cross or release the ball. And TJ, the Forest fan, says Forest had Franz Carr, remember him?
Yeah, I
And
do.
Gary Crosby.
Yeah.
In the late 80s, early 90s. Carr would skin everybody and was lightning fast but had no end product. Crosby had great end product but was slower than a hamstrung tortoise. Little harsh, TJ, little harsh. Brilliant. Keep them coming, your frustrating wingers. Couple of good blasts from the past there.
Yeah.
Talking of blasts from the past, it's a happy birthday to Gabby Agbonlahor. But up next we hear why he had a huge issue with a certain English newspaper on Friday. That's next.
This guy.
break down some of our favourite football cliches. First, let's talk hat-tricks. The term comes from cricket.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our friends at Arnold Clark get £750 off any used electric car or home charger. Frustrating wingers. Well, Chuddy has mentioned a couple who weren't frustrating. Tony Daly for Villa, remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good player. Ricky Otto for Birmingham City. Old school wingers got down the line, just crossed it in. Doesn't happen anymore.
I know.
Got a text about Antonio Valencia being a frustrating winger. It said couldn't cross a road. I tell you what, if you spoke to Wayne Rooney about that, he would tell you something completely different.
He wasn't bad.
He really enjoyed playing with Valencia, and Valencia popped the ball in. Frustrating wingers, Lee, the Liverpool fans brought one current one, Adama Traore, one of the most unplayable wingers I've seen, but always lets himself down with his final ball. Hart says, Ian says, had Bobby Prentice in the 70s, who could beat anyone, but usually ended up on the Gorgie Road because he forgot where the goals were. You remember it?
Oh, aye. Out the Gorgie Road.
The Gorgie Road.
Gorgie Road, aye. I do remember him. I thought he wasn't bad. Maybe Ian's been slightly harsh. Yeah.
Right, we were talking Jordan Pickford, whether he's the second name on the England team sheet after Kane. We're taking your calls. Michael is a Liverpool fan. He wants to have his say. Morning, Michael.
Morning, Michael.
Morning, gents. How are we?
We're in good form, mate. We're in good form. What do you think, mate?
I think he's overrated. If he was as good as he was, if he's as good as he is, he's a good goalkeeper. I'm not saying that he's not a good goalkeeper, but why is he still at Everton? Why is nobody? Everton aren't exactly known for keeping their best players.
They're a big club. They're a big club. That's why, Michael.
They're a big club.
Yeah.
Okay. Aye, because they're fighting relegation for most seasons out of everything, but they're a big club. There's absolutely no reason he would still be there. I think Henderson's a better goalkeeper. He's doing fantastic things at Palace. I'll be amazed if he stays at Palace. And I think Nick Pope's breathing down his neck as well. And the controversial one is I don't think Harry Kane's that phenomenal either. I think Harry Kane is gifted by the fact that there's nobody breathing down his neck.
Surely, Michael, you cannot argue with Harry Kane's goal scoring record.
There's no arguing with it. Well, he's gone over to Bayern, and it's not a pub league, but it's not the same level as the Premier League. He didn't win anything at Tottenham, so his finals didn't do anything against us in the final in the Champions League. Timed the bottles a wee bit. His penalty, how many of his goals are penalties? Every single goal, every single time he scores more than one goal, it's a penalty that's included. He's again a very good striker. He's not up there with the world's best. He's never included. He's never been even close to a Ballon d'Or. He's never.
I thought it was really harsh. I've got to say it. I think he finished at 13th.
13th he finished.
I thought that was ridiculously low, Michael. I mean, I take your point. He might not be your favourite centre forward, but I thought that 13th was really low, mate.
13th is low. It might be low, and his record in the Bundesliga is phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. But again, it's in the Bundesliga, and it's not at the same level. And yeah, he's done well with England, but again, in the finals, where it counts, where it matters, it's all fair and well when you're scoring 2 or 3 against Latvia or Belarus or whoever it is. See, when you're not scoring against Italy or Spain in a quarter-final or a semi-final, and you're waiting to a penalty and then skying a penalty. When I think they were 2-1 down against
France
or something. Yeah, those are the ones that you need to hit, and those are the ones he doesn't hit.
Michael, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for the call, mate.
Not sure how we got into Harry Kane when we were talking about Jordan Pickford, but hey, there we go. Look, staying with England, a legend on the White and Jordan show from 10. Gaz is on. Paul Gascoigne will be along with Jim and
Do you know what I found last night? There you are. And I sent Scott a picture of it. I was up in the loft messing about, clearing bits and pieces, and I found Mr. Gascoigne's top when he scored that unbelievable goal against us.
Oh, wow. Really?
Remember the one against Scotland where he chips it over, big call, and smashes it past Andy? I've got a lovely picture of Paul and I shaking hands, exchanging shirts after the game. And I found it last night.
Brilliant.
Lovely thing to keep.
Brilliant. Or auction.
I know him he'd want half.
Of course, Gaza faces his fair share of issues with the media, and that's probably it now seems to face Jude Bellingham, doesn't it? After the 3-0 win of Wales, the back page has read, "Who needs Jude?" Bellingham, of course, being left out of the squad by Thomas Tuchel. Gabby Bonlahor wasn't having that, saying the media need to leave him alone. And that Tuchel has to find a way to get him back in the squad. Right, let's find out how this England camp is going without Bellingham in it with talkSPORT's England correspondent Faye Carruthers. Morning, Faye.
Good morning, Faye.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. I hope you're well. Welcome to Riga.
How's it looking? I've been to Riga, I've got to say, Faye, and I quite enjoyed it, to tell you the truth.
It's absolutely beautiful, Ali. Tony Cascarino was raving about it on Weekend Sports Breakfast, and he's not wrong. It's been stunning so far. Going to go and have a look at the castle a little bit later on before we head to the stadium. Check that out, and of course we've got Matchday -1, 7:30 UK time when Thomas Tuchel and we're not sure which player yet, but we'll find out a little bit later on. Sit in front of the media ahead of tomorrow night's game.
Is Harry Kane going to be fit to play in this one? Do you think, Faye?
Yeah, we're told so. And actually, he was training straight after the Wales friendly the other night. And what Thomas Tuchel had said leading into the Wales game is that he had a bit of a contact problem on his foot, so he couldn't actually kick the ball, but we were watching him kick the ball on the Wembley pitch after that 3-0 win the other night, so he looks pretty comfortable, so I expect him to come straight back into the side. And then I'm not expecting that many changes from the side that beat Wales 3-0. Thomas Tuchel really happy with the first half performance, particularly that opening 20 minutes. Not so much with the second half. He wanted them to put the game to bed and be a little bit more clinical, but overall happy with the performance, building on that massive 5-0 performance over Serbia.
Well, you touched on it. I watched extended highlights of the game. I thought England first 30 minutes come flying out of traps, and I thought they were absolutely excellent. And from Thomas Tuchel's point of view, it couldn't go on any better. A couple of goals, obviously Watkins, Roger, and I thought Saka's finish was absolutely wonderful. I mean, and another clean sheet. So from Thomas Tuchel's point of view, it was very much a continuation from a great result. And as you correctly say, in Serbia, I'm guessing clearly we're looking for much of the same again against Latvia and another clean sheet, perhaps.
Yeah, very much so. They beat Latvia 3-0 in the home fixture, and they're expected to win this relatively comfortably. Latvia drew 2-2 with Andorra. They're both the bottom two in Group K. And in terms of England's qualification, it looks very straightforward now, because Serbia, who were England's biggest threat, who they beat 5-0, as we just mentioned, actually lost to Albania. So Albania are now second in Group K. And if England beat Latvia tomorrow night, they'll go 7 points clear at the top of the table, and qualification is sealed.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it should be a cakewalk against Latvia. You mentioned that Andorra result, and we've seen all the headlines, you know, and still making the headlines, the lack of Bellingham and Foden and Grealish and Wharton, and all going fantastically well at the moment for Thomas Tuchel. His issue's going to be Foden and Grealish and Wharton. That's when he would have a problem.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think it'll be really key looking to see who's selected for the camp in November, because qualification should be sealed tomorrow night, which means that November can be a bit more of an experimental camp. They've got games against Albania away and Serbia at home, and then, you know, you would expect Thomas Tuchel to be picking the side that he's looking to then be taking out to America, because they've only got the camp in March before they then head out to Miami for those pre-match games leading into the World Cup. So, you know, not many camps left to create this feeling that he wants, because he's looking at creating a team spirit that he talked about, that he was really pleased with the players that were involved in September, brought in. He wanted to continue that in this camp, which it seems like they have done. But of course, you know, those key players, Bellingham included, you know, you would expect them to be reintegrated back into the squad when fully fit. And so that's going to be interesting to see what his decision-making process is come November.
Faye, just a quick one. Tell me, it was really interesting there listening to Steven Gerrard when he was on Rio's podcast, and he was saying the complete opposite, actually. He was saying that he reckoned that was one of the problems. You know, it wasn't really a team... and a team spirit and a team kind of morale looked as though it was missing for the vast majority of his squads. The one thing I thought on the outside looking in, the one thing that Gareth did absolutely superbly well, supremely well, I think he turned that England squad into a proper, you know, a group of players who enjoy being in each other's company. And I've said for a long, long time, Faye, I don't care what MD, don't care what sport you're in, if you've got a great team spirit, of course it doesn't guarantee success, but it certainly helps. And do you think that's a continuation? I think Thomas Tuchel's continued that, or it seems to me from what he's saying, is he still striving to get that?
No, I think he's continued it. And actually, I go back to the first interview that I did with him when he was named England manager exactly a year ago. And he said he's going to pick the best team to go on and get success for England at the World Cup, not necessarily the best players. So he laid down, you know, his marker very early on, and he's sticking to that. And consistency is really key. If you remember going back to Gareth Southgate's reign, very early on, he said that he would pick on form. And so whenever he didn't pick players on form, it came back to haunt him. You can't really say that with Thomas Tuchel so far. He's been consistent with his messaging and done what he said. And I do think, and I mentioned this on air the other day, had Noni Madueke been fit, I think Bukayo Saka would still be fighting for his place and wouldn't necessarily have walked straight back in. And we know the quality of Bukayo Saka, you know, and he showed it the other night. But still, in the post-match press conference, Thomas Tuchel was saying, I still want more from him. I still want more rhythm. He's pushing these players because he knows what they're capable of, and he's trying to get them over the line, which they've come so close to on so many occasions. They just haven't taken that last step. He's been brought in to push them over that last step, and that means being quite hard and truthful at times and pushing them that extra bit.
Faye, thanks very much indeed.
Enjoy, Faye.
Thank you. See you later.
See you soon.
Jamie the Gooner, frustrating wingers. No more frustrating winger than Glenn Helder. Looked the part, could run like Usain Bolt, but sadly was about as good as me when it came to actually playing football. And we heard from Michael on Jordan Pickford and Harry Kane, and Danny has texted in saying, a Scottish Liverpool fan calling in to talk about Everton and England. Comedy gold. Go and eat your haggis butties and stay in your lane. Ooh, Danny, like the blue touch paper and retreat. Okay, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
We'll be joined by a League Two boss who encountered something spooky when he took over at Swindon.
There is CCTV footage of a white apparition coming down the hallway, smashing through a wall.
Ian Holloway, well, his Swindon Town side absolutely flying at the moment in League Two. They sit second in the table. We'll hear from him very shortly. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
Good morning, 7:50 on Monday, October the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ally McCoist is with me. Frustrating wingers, Mitch says. Peter Barnes for Leeds, £930,000 signing from Man City in 1981. Biggest robbery since Dick Turpin. That's from...
1981, 19.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that 44 years ago?
That is 44 years ago, yeah. Paul Simon was only 40.
Dear me.
Brilliant. I remember Peter Barnes. Yeah. And that was a big headline, by the way, when he made that move. That's for sure.
Me too.
Now, over on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch an exclusive interview between two best mates and former England teammates as Freddie Flintoff speaks with Steve Harmison in a wide-ranging chat about his new book, Coming Home. Here they reflect on that iconic Ashes series in 2005 and the famous photo of Freddie comforting Australia's Brett Lee following their narrow win at Edgbaston.
When you got Kasparovich out, I spoke about this before, is that one of the things about it is you get taught as kids, didn't you? You know, two things: respect the umpire. If you nick it, walk, which I never did. And the other, respect the opposition. But you got taught that as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I got there.
Because you were the first one to shake his hand.
Yeah. But I wasn't focused.
You don't know where the cameras are now.
Exactly.
Look at you now, look at all these cameras. And then just went over, and it was nothing profound. It was, I quite like Brett Lee.
Yeah.
You know, we tried to knock him out. He runs in every day. We tried to hit him. We tried to get him out. And he just kept coming back. And it was just like, man, oh, he deserves that type of thing. We'll see you next week.
Coming home, Freddie's new book is out now. Pleased to say that joining us is the man he sat down with for that chat. Two-time Ashes winner, Steve Harmison. Morning, Harmy.
Harmy, how you doing?
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Jeff.
Yeah.
Good,
Hey,
mate.
look, first question, I think you know, is how is Freddie? How is he at the moment?
He looked in great form, to be fair. He looked well. He looks. I mean, we all know, obviously, with the accident, 18 months, 2 years ago, and he's gone through a difficult time. But I tell you what, he looked back to his usual spiky best. He took the mickey out of me non-stop for about an hour, so that was him normal. He looks, from a physical point of view, he looks better than he ever did when he played. And he is in great form, and he's looking forward to the winter. It was nice to see him in person, and somebody who I've gone through a hell of a lot. I think we first roomed together in 1996, and we spoke just after that part when he talked about Brett Lee, about finishing our career in the Ashes in 2009 and what the journey was like. So yeah, he was in good form. He looks in a good place. He looks in a happy place. And he's looking forward to shaping a few of the young players' careers over the course of the winter, pushing them towards the Ashes.
Brilliant. I've got to say, I saw him on, I can't mind, mate, it might have been Friday morning, he was on the telly, and I thought he looked great and he sounded great. I sent a wee message, man, it's just brilliant to see him back and looking the part, which is the most important thing, mate. So listen, I want to move on. I'm going to move on. Before I get to Pat Cummings, right, and the blow Australia, that missing perhaps... well, more than one test. I want to ask you, I'm looking at the Telegraph Sport this morning. Graham Gooch, okay, Gucci. He's saying England are jeopardising their Ashes chances by not playing proper warm-up matches. England flew to New Zealand on Friday for the T20 50 series, and he said it's in contrast to how England prepared for the 2010-2011 Ashes, when they played 3 4-day games before the first test in Brisbane and went on to win the series. It was the last time they won a single test in Australia. Has the man got a point, Harmy?
Ali's got a point. Gucci's got a point. He was on that tour, that 10-11 tour. Graham Gooch, I think, was the batting coach at the time. So he has that point. I have made that point many, many times in Rob Key, Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum have had a go back at me about their preparation and their method, and explained it to me. And modern day has changed, gentlemen. It's about, they don't need to sort of play the warm-up games now, because they play that much cricket, these lads, that they tend not to spend too much off time. They've had a bit of a break, but they'll still be working hard. Where back in the day, my day in 2006, 7, 2002, 3, there was a long time between the end of the cricket season and the start of what would be the Ashes. But these guys are playing. There's a lot of them just landed in New Zealand this morning. Harry Brooks landed in New Zealand this morning. Jack Crawley's on that trip. Ben Duckett's going to be over there. Joe Root's there. Mark Wood's going over next week. Archer's there. So the only person that's not really going over to New Zealand is Ben Stokes. So while Gucci has a point, and I fully get why he's saying preparation is key, they are playing cricket. They are working hard, and I've been guilty and foul of making them statements and saying their preparation's not good enough. But I think when you dive a little bit more into it, I think they are doing the right things. And Brendan McCullum did a brilliant interview at the end of the summer, and he summed it up perfectly. He said, "I'm a racehorse man." He says, "You wouldn't get a stellar racehorse running around the track for the sake of running around the track. There's no point. Get them ready, get them primed and ready to go, hold them back and let them loose for that first test match in Perth." And I think that's what Brendan McCullum, Ben Stokes has done with the preparation side of going into this Ashes.
So, Harmy, you mentioned Ben Stokes 2 or 3 times. Here's one for you. Compare and contrast Ben Stokes, Freddie Flintoff.
They're two very, very similar characters. They're two brilliant all-rounders, two wonderful human beings, winners when it comes to on-the-field characteristics. Ben Stokes is going to lead England into, I think, an Ashes series where we really stand a chance of winning? Where unfortunately Andrew Flintoff led us into an Ashes series when we didn't. It was no point even going because we didn't stand a chance with the players that we went with and the team that we went. That's no disrespect to the players. We didn't perform. I wasn't good enough. I said I let him down. I think this series is the first time since probably 10-11 where I've sat here and gone, England have got a chance, and I've actually believed it. Where I'd never in the past. Unfortunately for Sir Alistair Cook and one or two others that have gone there, I didn't believe England had that chance, but I think Ben Stokes has that chance. As characters, the two of them, they're very similar people. You stick them in the middle, you put the ball in their hand, and it's very, very difficult to get it out of their hand. You put the bat in their hand, and they want to play on the front foot. They are what they are, along with Surrey and both of them. All rounders are few and far between when it comes. And I tell you what, in the last sort of 50, 60 years, we've had three because we've all had the sort of similar characteristics, and that's something we're going to miss in a couple of years when Ben's body eventually packs up.
Harmy, we're going to go to the news, but I want to ask you, Pat Cummins will be a massive miss for the first test, I think it's November the 21st, and if he's out for that, you've got to say he might be struggling for the next one of December the 4th. Scott Boland will come in, not into the attack, a player I don't know an awful lot about. Tell us, please.
Yeah, he's a good bowler, very, very good bowler, excellent test match career. England had his number in 2023 over here, and because of that, you fancy England to do it again on them good flat batting surfaces. Look, Ali, like I mentioned there, England have got a chance, and I believe England have got a chance, and it's got to come down to a little bit of luck, umpire decisions, injuries, big injuries. Pat Cummins might not be as big a miss as a captain because Steve Smith will step in, but as a bowler, for me, he's one of my favourite cricketers in the last sort of 5 or 10 years. And if he misses one test match, we talk about Ben Stokes, and if Ben Stokes misses a test match for England, that'll be catastrophic. Even more catastrophic if he misses more test matches. I think it's similar for Pat Cummins in Australia. It would be a huge boost and a big bit of luck for England if he misses one, never mind the series. That would be a massive, massive boost for the England cricket team.
Harmy, thank you so much.
Good to see you, mate. Looking forward to it.
Cheers, boys. Good morning.
Botham, Flintoff, Stokes. What a trio that is. Goodness me.
Wow. I mean, that's just wow factor.
Yeah, that would be a wow factor, that's for sure. All three of them absolutely legends of the game. You can watch the full interview, by the way, with Freddie Flintoff and Steve Harmison on talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube channel. If you don't already, be sure to start watching us as well as listening to us on your smart TV. We're absolutely everywhere. Coming up, we'll hear exclusively from the Crystal Palace chairman, Steve Parish, about the future of Oliver Glasner.
For every good signing a club makes, there's bound to be a few that don't work out. And Man United have certainly had their fair share of those, especially since the end of their golden age under Sir Alex Ferguson. Here are just some of the Red Devils' worst signings since Fergie. First up, Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez joined United from Arsenal back in 2018 and became the highest paid player in the Prem. He'd averaged almost 1 goal every 2 games for the Gunners, but in his 45 games for Man United, he only managed 5 goals. Not what you want from a star striker. Next up, Radamel Falcao. He earned himself the nickname the Tiger for his sheer efficiency and the way he used to pounce upon the mistakes of defenders. But at Man United, he was way more pussycat than Tiger, to be honest. All he managed in 29 Man United games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but 1 season later he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Good morning, everyone. It's 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Monday, October the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Coming up, comedian and Forest fan Matt Ford will give us his take on Big Ange so far at the City Ground. We'll build up to massive games for Northern Ireland and Wales with David Healy and Ian Rush, and Swindon boss Ian Holloway will join us with his side flying in League Two. Just before we go on, actually, mention of League Two, let's just tell you, it was only a little amount of EFL action at the weekend. It was a good day for the support of one of the struggling sides. 3 of the bottom 6 in League One all won. Wickham and Rotherham and Burton Albion. Best individual performance of the day, Leyton Orient's Dom Ballard, who's no relation to Dan Ballard, by the way. Hat-trick for Leyton Orient against Doncaster Rovers. Donny's slipping a bit at the moment. And in League Two, none of the bottom 4 lost, with wins for Shrewsbury and Newport. Biggest win was the MK Dons 4-0 at Bristol Rovers, helped by 3 goals from the 83rd minute onwards. But today is the draw for the first round of the FA Cup proper. It was the final qualifying round at the weekend. Best result, Hemel Hempstead beating National League Yeovil 2-1, despite the fact they played for more than an hour with 10 men. National League Solihull, they lost at Ebbsfleet. The lowest rated team, I know, Coisty, you're going to be involved in the first round of the FA Cup. So the lowest rated team that's gone through are Malden and Tiptree from the Isthmian League North. Freddie Sears, remember him? He scored their winning goal against Flackwell Heath. Wow. Gainsborough Trinity drew 1-1 with Mylott, remember? Trinity apparently unlucky not to win it with Simon Grayson's final game in charge. He was sacked after that. But listen to this. This is the best story of the day. Totton were playing Truro. Tyler Love Holmes equalised in the 82nd minute for Truro. In the 97th minute, Totton were awarded a penalty. J. Emmanuel Thomas, once of Arsenal, he took the penalty and hit the crossbar, which now means that Totton face a 400-mile, 8-hour round trip to Cornwall on Tuesday that they could have avoided had he scored that 97th minute penalty.
Do you think your boys let him know in the dressing room?
Oh, just a bit, yeah. The Tottenham director of football is James Beattie.
No way.
Yeah.
James, believe it or not, was up at Rangers as well. I know James. He's doing really well. I didn't know that.
Brilliant, yeah. So, and of course, they'll all have day jobs, won't they? They'll all have day jobs. And they're off tomorrow, 4 hours each way. I mean, minimum, by the way, I would say, down to Truro as well for a...
Well, you've got, they're taking a day off. You're taking the first thing you're doing,
You're probably taking 2 days off.
I mean, that's... Because you're going down, you've got to get down early, you have to get something to eat, I would imagine, pre-match somewhere along the line.
Amazing.
That is some journey.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hickey and Phil, lifelong Red, said, Jeff and Ali, let's have a special mention for Hull KR this morning.
Exactly.
Incredible achievement in the Super League Grand Final against Wigan at the weekend.
Yeah.
Fourth team in 20 years to win the big one. And they said, we've waited 40 years for a major trophy, and then we go and win all 3.
Yeah.
Just 9 years on from being relegated. Incredible. A magnificent sporting story. Hickey and Phil completely agree. Amazing achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Now then, back to football. Oliver Glasner's made quite the name for himself, hasn't he, at Palace? First trophy ever for the club. With that FA Cup win, they're in Europe and they've won in Kiev in their opening game. Well, not in Kiev, but they beat Kiev 2-0 in their opening game in their group stages, having had to qualify for that group stage as well, of course. And of course, Oliver Glasner, well, he's a hot property, isn't he? So how long can they hold on to him? Their chairman, Steve Parish, joined the Sunday edition yesterday with potentially some good news for Palace fans.
I think Oliver's a brilliant guy. I think he's a sensational manager, and his opinion is extremely important to the football club, and what he thinks is something that we take very seriously. Certainly I take very seriously. And, will we look back on things and adapt what we do? Absolutely, in future. Yeah, we've had some early conversations. I mean, look, we would love to keep Oliver. We're building something. I think for Oliver, it's about the conditions being right. It's about everything being in a way that he enjoys his work, and he finds the conditions favourable to achieve. Oliver wants to win things, he makes no secret of that. That's what he's in football for. He's in football for those days where we give all that pleasure to the fans, and we do as well. So, if we can align those interests, then hopefully we can make something happen.
I mean, look, already into the final year of his contract. Are you surprised negotiations haven't already taken place?
Yeah.
That a deal hasn't already been done?
Yeah, but, there could be a number of reasons for that. The main one being Oliver Glasner. I said, look, let me go on with this just now. We'll talk in the future. So, yeah, I'm a little bit surprised because Steve Parish is obviously an intelligent man. The first thing he'd want to do is nail him down for as long as possible, because them probably more than any other team in the last 12 months, I've really enjoyed the change and enjoyed watching them. Some terrific performances, Jeff. Absolutely terrific performances. Cup finals and community shields, and now in Europe. And you've got to be delighted for the Palace fans.
Oh, absolutely.
Considering you think of the talent they've lost as well. They've lost a couple of tremendous flair players in Eze and Elise, and they've just got a real solid, competent, no-nonsense approach about them, with no shortage of talent in the team. And they've got a different way they've got their own way of playing with the back three, Richards, Lacroix. Actually, the biggest boost, we've mentioned it already today and on numerous occasions, might have been the biggest loss to Liverpool might be the player they never got and the biggest gain for Palace was the one they kept.
Absolutely.
He has been terrific, and in that back three, the two white boys, Munoz and Mitchell as well. They're just. We spoke to Faye there about, Thomas Tuchel trying to create a team, and a bond and bigger pardon. Palace look as though they've really, really got that.
Yeah, they do. And look, it's a fantastic club. And as a Hartlepool fan, we've got a sort of bond with them in many respects. But I just wonder, do you think somewhere in the back of Oliver Glasner's mind, he might be concerned that there is a ceiling for Palace?
Maybe.
And they may not be far from that ceiling. And if they were to lose Gahey and Wharton and maybe Munoz as well.
Yeah, but that's the chat he's going to have to have with Steve. But that's the discussion that has to be had. Have we reached that ceiling? Are we nearly getting to that ceiling? Or are you going to encourage me to go right through that ceiling? That's the conversation that he's going to have. Jeff, Palace lost the last game at Everton 2-1, right? Could have and arguably should have won the game. Brilliant result for Everton, by the way, coming back and winning the game. But from all indications, Palace looked the better side. Probably deserved. See if Palace had won that game. Sitting second in the league. Palace, I know it's all ifs and buts, but Palace would have been sitting second in the league. And the biggest surprise would have been that we wouldn't have been that surprised in the transformation in that team. So, yeah, big discussions there that he's got to have with the manager.
Because he will be massively in demand, not just from this country, but all over Europe.
100%. Because you've got to say that is one of the... He is performing one of the jobs in the last decade and turning, a comfortable Crystal Palace club and team who'd have sat mid to low in the top flight to a side that nobody wants to play and against a side that is more than capable of winning any cup competition.
Yeah, I've never met the man, but he handles himself so well as well.
Very impressive character, isn't he?
Very, very
impressive character.
Yeah, for sure. So can Palace hang on to Oliver Glasner? Time will tell. Frustrating wingers. Here's another one for you. Kevin's texted in and said, Perry Groves. He said, how annoying were those ridiculously high shorts? Everyone wore them high in those days. That was the way to do it. Yeah, fantastic. Perry, we don't share that view.
Never.
Obviously. Yeah. It's just gone 8:15. Coming up, we celebrate the birthday of a beloved member of the talkSPORT team. Gabby's 39 today. We'll play out some of his best bits next, shouldn't it? Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Happy birthday by the great Stevie Wonder, whose birthday we're celebrating today. Well, obviously Paul Simon, 84. Actually, I thought that the fellow we're going to celebrate with now, I thought he was older than this. It's a very happy 39th birthday to one of our very own here at talkSPORT. Gonna kill me.
And Agbonlahor could be in here. Gallas trying to shackle him. Agbonlahor! He's surely won it for Aston Villa. Note to Fabio Capello.
The tallest mountain in Europe is situated in the French Alps.
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest in the French Alps.
Braveheart.
Yeah.
100 times.
Can you remember the iconic line that he says?
No.
Which pink bird is often seen standing on only one leg?
Peacock. You're coming to my house on the day my daughter is to be married, and you asked me to do murder?
Hey, Gabby, have a brilliant birthday, mate.
Happy birthday, pal.
I tell you, he's a top bloke as well.
He's
really
brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. I've got to admit, because they were up in the boys were up in Glasgow for the Arnold Clark thing the Friday, and they couldn't make it. We're going to go along to Satty's for a curry on the Thursday night, but the boys were too busy, which was a great shame. But happy birthday to him. He's some boy, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. He's brilliant. By the way, and you're absolutely right, Peter, who's an Everton fan, texted in and said, morning, Jeff, he forgot to mention that the manager of Tottenham is the son of ex-England footballer Alan Ball, Jimmy Ball. I didn't put the two and two together, Pete. That's the brutal, honest truth about that. So, Jimmy Ball, Alan Ball's son, manager of Tottenham. And by the way, mate, of course, if Truro beat Tottenham in that replay, you could find yourself for TNT Sport for the first round game. You could find yourself heading to Truro on a Friday night. Sure, you're looking forward to that.
It's not exactly the Vegas of the South, is it? Or is it?
No, it's lovely, but you need to set off now. I mean, it's a long way. It is a long
I don't doubt it.
Simon from Warrington says, regarding the chat about Glasner, I think the job that Raola's done and is doing at Bournemouth definitely comparable, if not better. Agree, certainly comparably.
Yep.
Another one who's done a brilliant job.
Great job.
And on the frustrating winger chat, first player that springs to his mind is Nani.
Yeah, I understand that one, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of qualities, though, Nani, as well, I think. OK, 8:23, very nearly. Let's get the latest odds now with Coral and John Hill.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Morning to you, John.
Morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, Jeff. Yeah, really good, thank you. Disappointment for Rochdale exiting in the fourth qualifying round of the FA Cup.
Yeah, we do. I think you got your retaliation in before I stuck the knife in, mate.
But look, we are top of the league, and you've got to just take every blow as it comes, haven't you? And concentrate on the league now. That's what we're saying to ourselves.
And who's the goal scorer who's into double figures down there that we gave you?
Yeah, Desaruve, he's still flying, 10 for the season. That's fantastic. And, still lots of positives for the season so far, Jeff. I know I've not spoke to you for a few weeks, but we've had some good wins. Way at Forest Green last week in the league was a cracker. So we'll pick ourselves up and hopefully bounce back on Saturday at home to Yeovil.
John, just a quick one, mate. I'm loath to get a little bit carried away, but Scotland to win the World Cup?
Well, you never know. It was a good win last night, wasn't it, against Belarus? And hopefully you can build upon that. And some decent games actually looking tonight, Ali.
Yes, that's some good games.
Germany travelling to Northern Ireland. That's a good one for Northern Ireland. There'll be a good crowd there, won't there?
Well, the brilliant result against Slovakia there in Northern Ireland.
They did Friday night.
So this is they'll have a right go. He's doing a brilliant job, Michael. I think Steve Davids is there as well. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Are they big outsiders then for that one mate?
Well, there's 7-1, Jeff. Obviously at home, and
7-1.
Yeah, 7-1.
Well, that is a big price.
I thought they might have been a bit bigger, actually, but I think their home records, I say, you just never know. They could get a draw tonight in Northern Ireland. They're solid at the back. And just looking at Germany's recent results, they've only won 2 of the last 6, Germany.
I know they have.
Well, Nagelsmann's under massive pressure.
He's under pressure.
Yeah.
Well, they get beat 2-0 in Slovakia as well. I know that they won the last one, but they get beat 2-0 in Slovakia, John. So it's equally big for them, but you just hope that the non-Irish boys can get a result. That'd be brilliant. What about Wales? They'll be outsiders, but they won't be 7-1, I wouldn't think.
No, you're quite right. No, they're just a little bit shorter than 3-1, actually, Wales. And Wales-Belgium, this just brings me back to 2016, doesn't it? That semi-final of the European Championship, was it? And Wales, obviously, they were disappointing against England, weren't they? That 3-0 defeat on Thursday night. But it wasn't friendly, and obviously this is a competitive game, so we'll expect Wales to be much better here. Belgium 7-10. We'll see Kevin De Bruyne travel across with Belgium this evening. Always great to see KDB in action, isn't it? And
Sean, I'm going to say to you, mate, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Do you know what I find unbelievable that's probably went under the radar? We're talking about Wales at home to Belgium this evening. And top of the table is North Macedonia.
Yes, it is, yeah.
They're top of the table.
Unbelievable. Yeah, just looking at that now, that's absolutely incredible. You would never have thought them Month for Sundays, would you, at the start of the campaign? Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely fantastic. But obviously, I mean, there's a lot of people beforehand, John, saying not necessarily a great thing, Wales going to play against England, getting well beaten. But I tell you what a boost they would have got with that Belgium draw with North Macedonia at the weekend. And that, I mean... The entire Welsh nation will be behind that side tonight. You can guarantee that.
I think it's a must-win for them as well. It's a must-win in the sense that Belgium have got Kazakhstan and Liechtenstein to play. So they're going to pick up 6 points there. Absolute certainty. That will take them on to 17. Wales are away to Liechtenstein. That home game, their last game against North Macedonia, that could be massive for Wales. But only if they get a result against Belgium. England would be unbackably short, I would imagine, in Latvia, are they?
Yeah, they are 1-16, Jeff. But look, England won't mind, will they? Obviously, it's been straightforward the campaign so far, 100% record. So I'm sure Thomas Tuchel will be keen for that to continue 1-16. I just wonder what kind of team he'll put out tomorrow. Will he, give a few of the fringe players a chance? A few of them did impress on Thursday night, didn't they, in that first half an hour? So, keep it on the team sheet tomorrow. But England very short, 1-16 to beat Latvia.
Did you enjoy the Dewhurst at the weekend, John?
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? We didn't see that coming. 33-1, was it? 25-1 for Ewan. So, look, no surprise, Andrew Baldwin, though. He obviously an excellent trainer and great record in the race. But in terms of the win of the race, big surprise there. And a massive Saturday coming up, isn't it, at Ascot, British Champions Day. We are in for an absolute cracking Champions Stakes, by the way. Ombudsman, Calandigan, Delacroix, they're all set to line up. So that should be an absolute brilliant race. And then the QE2, Field of Gold, set to return to action. So really looking forward to seeing the Greyhouse in action there. And then it'll be the jumps racing, won't it, that we'll start looking forward to. And they start coming around big, the meetings, the open meeting at Cheltenham, the Betfair Chase at Haydock, and the Coral Cup at the Coral Trophy at Newbury. So some big meetings to look forward to early in the season.
Yeah, John, it would be remiss of us to you talk about jump racing to let the moment pass without mentioning that Stumptown became the first Irish winner of the Powder Beach at the weekend. Gavin Cromwell, brilliant. Not a big shock, but a brilliant achievement to go there and win.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's actually on the front page of the Racing Post today, if everyone's got a copy. So, fantastic achievement there. And the Irish flag was waved up in the air at the end of the race there by Keith Donoghue. So, fantastic achievement there. So, congratulations to them. And, lots to look forward to, as I say, over the next few weeks in the world of racing.
Yeah, John, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks,
don't forget first round draw of the FA Cup. Sorry, no. Sorry, John. Sorry.
I hope you get an absolute stinker, Jeff, if you get through your replay.
I don't think we're going to get through the replay. I'll be brutally honest with you, mate, but we shall see. John, thanks very much indeed.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, John.
And that was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to Coral 18+, gambleaware.org. A couple of surprises when we're talking about frustrating wingers, I would say. Henry from Milton Keynes says, big Newcastle fan.
I know.
Talk about disappointing wingers. Alan St. Maximin has to be up there. Could twist defenders up, couldn't cross a road. I thought he was fantastic.
So did
I absolutely loved watching him. And Ash, who's a regular contributor, I can name 2 frustrating wingers. David Ginola.
That surprised me.
And Laurent Robert. Really, really surprised. Moments of class, he said, but boy, they could go missing. Coming up, we're joined by our legend of the English game. Ian Holloway is with us next to discuss the job he's doing with Swindon.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, 8:35. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get £750 off any used electric car or home charger. We're talking about frustrating wingers. Two most frustrating wingers, says Pete, the Newbury trucker. Stelling and McCoist, being wingy it every morning for months, he says.
Let him over it came from, by the way.
Morning to you, Pete. Now, what a start to the League Two season it's been for Swindon Town and their national treasure of a manager.
I am a cider drinker. I drink till I have the day.
I love the game. I can't stand the business because the business is absolute rubbish. I nearly said there, didn't I?
40 years since Blackpool were last promoted to the top flight, and they have done it again. Ian Holloway, man of the moment.
Totally outraged, absolutely disgusted in how selfish some people can be. The game belongs to supporters, not them.
Hey, you, get out of my swamp.
They've done it. Crystal Palace have landed back in the Premier League. Kevin Phillips' penalty in extra time has won it for Ian Holloway's men.
Luther Van Drost, don't you dare have a go at Luther Van Drost. Never too much, never too much, never too much. Ding, 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 ding.
Unbelievable.
You know you like that.
Be a cider drinker.
No, get out.
Yes, Swindon sitting second in League Two, game in hand on the entire top half. They've begun the season with 8 wins from 11, not too shabby.
Tell you what's not too shabby.
What's not too shabby?
About Luther Van Drost.
All right.
Get the wee man on it, we talk about Luther Van Drost.
Yeah, I'm delighted to say the wee man, as you call him, Ian Holloway, joins us now. Morning, Ollie.
Ollie, how are you, mate?
Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Jeff. How are you, mate?
Yeah,
You
really
cannot
good,
beat
mate.
A bit of Luther, can you?
You can't beat it, mate. You absolutely cannot beat it. Different class. That takes me back. Yeah. Listen, Ollie, the one thing I've got to ask you, right? Most managers, I would imagine, look forward to an international break where they can put their feet up and maybe chill out for a couple of days. I don't really think that's you. Or tell me I'm wrong. Is it you?
Man, I was furious, man. Absolutely tamping. You know, the last thing in League Two, the 4th tier. I mean, we're all up on ourselves saying we're League Two. We're not. We're League 4. And how can you have a team in League 4 with 3 international players? You know. And if they have got them, they shouldn't be allowed to. It's just like I had 3 people injured the other way. They were 3 best players, but you know, it's just mad, lads. You know, I just had a whole weekend off when I didn't want one.
Yeah.
You know.
What did you do with yourself, Ollie? What did you do with yourself at the weekend?
I am babysitting at the moment. One of our grandchildren is having a cochlear implant this morning, Jeff.
All right, okay.
And we're looking after his little sister. So my wife is here. We're ran ragged. We've been up since 5. Don't really know us that well, Nova, but it's the first time she's been left on her own without mum. So, oh my goodness me. We're all doing all right in a minute, Jeff.
We're hanging in there.
Well, I'll set up a little chocolate station, all the little things she likes, and put it in there in the front room, and she's getting away with it. She hasn't even asked for mum yet. Where's mummy? She hasn't seen it yet. Where's mummy? She hasn't asked her yet.
Brilliant, Ollie. Listen, mate, I'm looking at the table. Game in hand, you win that, you go chalk. I think it's Accrington Stanley at the weekend. You must be absolutely thrilled with the way things are going.
I'm very pleased with everything else, you know, but what you've just said there, from an ex-manager, I can't believe you're saying it, mate. You know, in our league, if you look where we are and where everyone else is, there's 4 points down to middle table, you know. Yeah. It is so tight. It's so exhilarating because people play different ways, unlike the Premier League. You know, everybody trying to, you know, Pep sort of made everybody try and play the same. Where everybody's in a different vein of form, everybody's got a different style. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and the level is brilliant. Al, I got to say, I've managed to borrow some young players from Leicester, from Southampton, from Aston Villa. It's just wonderful. I'm teaching them, adding them to our senior ones, and we're on a good roll at the moment. It's just, you know, what you have to do is try and do what we've done in the first 11 games for the next 33. And then we'll have 3 games left and we should be all right. But you can't ever guarantee it. The level is so good. I'm just very pleased with the intensity we're trying to get as a group, how important everything is. And I think that's what's wrong with football at the moment. Too many players don't put the importance of it enough. They're just picking their money up. You know, it drives me insane.
Yeah.
They're all on too much money, but our level, we're not. We're working at it, and we're getting better and better all the time. So really pleased with everybody, and it's nice to not have lost ground over the weekend. We had a really important game last week where we managed to beat Newport away 1-0. Because if we wouldn't have won that and someone would have won on the weekend, we could have been 6 points adrift, but we're not. So we didn't even move. So, you know, it's all about the rest of it. But I don't know if you follow it that much. It's such an exhilarating level.
I tell you what it is, Ollie. I look at your squad and think, you talk to the young players, and you're right, you've got a lovely balance in there because you've got some real experienced pros as well, the likes of Ollie Palmer and Billy Bowden, Tom Nichols, Ollie Clark, that sort of player. It's important, isn't it? You mentioned it yourself there. It's important when you've got experienced players at the club, especially players that you're bringing in yourself, that they still have the right attitude. They still want to do it.
Yeah, if you've just hit what's wrong with football on the head there. Everybody's talking about how much are we going to make on him, you know, and people with data, which is experienced pros, get overlooked. They're not wanted. So I've filled my squad with them because they taught me how to be a player, and that's what I want from my young lads. I want senior people showing them what being a pro is all about, and taking responsibility. So I'm so lucky, absolutely so lucky to have so many senior pros who are, we've added Ryan Taffazoli and Ollie Palmer to our group as well. So it's really helping everybody around us, you know, and the teams with young squads is strange. They can't win.
Ollie, tell me, I'm looking at me cookie at Chesterfield, Grimsby are there, Gillingham again, but Walsall, who could argue a little bit unlucky last year. Who do you see as your main challengers?
Mate, to be honest with you, there's some fantastic teams there you haven't even mentioned. Barnet have been sensational, come up last year. They beat us at our place 2-0. Chesterfield are a good football inside as well. Colchester are starting to grow. MK Dons are probably outspending everybody, but they'll get there. Gillingham, I'd like to wish Gareth Ainsworth all the best with his little problem, you know. So they've lost 2 without him. So it's a very tight league, and I have no idea who's going to be there at the end, you know, because when January comes, we've borrowed some young ones, whether they go back, whether they don't. I really don't know. So I'm expecting us to want to be there. That's all I'm asking my players. I want you to want to be there. And as long as we keep doing the hard yards, telling each other the truth, what you feel about each other, what's wrong with the defence, what's wrong with the midfield, what's wrong with the forwards, should your goalie have done this, and let them take responsibility for it. I'm sick and fed up of telling them they got to do it. So at the end of the day, that's where we are, and I'm so delighted with how they're taking it on, Al. Do you know what I mean? And you've been a manager yourself. It ain't down to you. It's that how you can inspire that group to actually take on what you're talking about. And while I'm here, congratulations with Scotland. They might have a chance now, mate. Fantastic. Hope it goes well.
I hope so, mate. You're absolutely right. We've been discussing it this morning. Not the best of performances, but frankly, I'm not too bothered about that, Ollie. It was, you know, exactly. six great points, mate. 6 great points.
Mate, absolutely fantastic. Listen, wouldn't it be great if we were all there?
Magic.
We all need this, you know. We need to come back together, I think, you know, really do. So as a overall nation, you know, we're hopeless on our own. We all got a, you know, I'm 3 parts Scottish, believe it or not.
Well, we can tell from the accent, yeah. Ollie, look, brilliant. Thanks for taking the time out, mate. Get back to that babysitting.
No problem. My wife's doing it. I'll just back her up.
Good lad.
Brilliant, Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie. Mate. Take care, mate.
Cheers, chaps. Bye-bye.
Brilliant.
By the way, let's just emphasise as well, I think Gareth's back out of hospital now after his heart operation, and we all wish
100%.
He's a top
great character,
as is Ollie, of course. Fantastic. Frustrating wingers. Greeno, the postie, says a bit of controversial one here. Greeno, Gabriel Obertan, 1 or 2 have brought him up. Gervinho, Frank Ribery. All had pace and no idea. I just remember Ribery and Robin ripping teams apart, Greeno, to be brutally honest.
So do I.
There we go.
Oh, that's controversial.
But thank you, Greeno, and thanks very much to Ian Holloway. Swindon sitting second in the table.
Going well.
Yeah, going really well. Got a good run of fixtures as well. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarks Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarks.
Rangers fans, stay tuned. From 9, we'll discuss what next for your club. Stevie G has decided he doesn't want to return there. So, who is in line for the hot seat at Ibrox? How attractive are they as a club? 2021, remember, the end of the season unbeaten. 2022, reached the Europa League final. But what level of manager can they attract? We'll take your calls. 03717 223344. That's from 9. And that was our look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
Good morning, 8:50. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. We're talking about frustrating wingers. Ben at Wollaston Village FC has texted and he says, talking about frustrating wingers, you should see ours on a Sunday morning. Mind you, it's difficult to be creative after 15 pints and a kebab the night before. I haven't got Alan Brazil's expertise to tell us whether that's the case or not. Right, we're going to almost focus on Nottingham Forest now. Almost. Big Ange has made it through the international break. Well, he almost has, despite being under huge pressure already.
Big Ange, big return, has a familiar feeling about it. It's another defeat in North London.
The stadium exploded and Ange, well, he can't quite believe it. Swansea 3, Nottingham Forest 2.
He is the worst manager ever to grace the Premier League. Now there's a statement for you.
He's made Nottingham Forest Spurs.
And the full-time whistle has just gone. Nottingham Forest 0, Sunderland 1.
Sacked in the morning. The chant of the Nottingham Forest fans.
The fans are disappointed. They're allowed to, they're entitled to have an opinion on it. I heard their opinion.
6 games now for Ange Postecoglou. No victory.
I knew I was getting sacked at Tottenham about 3 or 4 months before I did. Didn't stop me winning something. It doesn't enter my head.
Ange Postecoglou, well, the wait for a first win carries on. 7 matches, that's now without a win. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of talk about his position in the morning. Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0.
And joining us here in the studio to talk Forest, but many other things, including his forthcoming tour, comedian, big Forest fan, Matt Ford. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, fellas.
How are you, mate?
I was until you played clips of Ange Postecoglou. I was in a very good mood.
Well, the good news is, I was just looking, mate. Thanks, first of all, for coming in to see us. Brilliant to see you. The good news is, you've only got Chelsea and Porto at home and then Bournemouth away.
Do you know what? We've had a great international break. We're undefeated in the last 10 days. And I think that has gone underreported by the media because there's a narrative against him.
In all seriousness, what do you think the problem is? I mean, it's not so much as a change in playing style. Is it just a lack of form, a lack of belief, or is it the coach?
As a fan, I think sometimes it's quite hard to tell. I mean, obviously, when Nuno first came in, he had to change our style. So that first part of the season that he had when he took over from Steve Cooper, we didn't play the same way that we played once he'd had a pre-season. So in fairness to any incoming manager who's trying to change quite a choreographed style with deliberately playing without the ball and then hitting teams on the attack, which you can sort of rehearse to some extent, obviously Ange has a different philosophy. So you're trying to change that midweek without a pre-season. But equally, the one thing that you do notice as a fan, I think, is there's just a sort of atmosphere that is quite heavy with him. And I feel for him as a human being, and I want every Forest manager to do well. So I've got nothing against the bloke. But you feel like any question he's asked, you could ask him what the time is, and he'd go, I know what the time is, mate. Don't worry about me, man. I've got a watch. My dad got me a watch, and I'm proud of it. You're sort of missing the point a lot of the time. Fans want answers. The media are there to ask you them. I think he lacks a kind of lightness of touch that would have helped him maybe manage a difficult period had he been a bit more sort of positive, I think. So it's just been very difficult as fans because the start of the season, we're in Europe for the first time in 30 years. What a thrill. And I went to Betis away the other way. I never thought...
And that might have been your best performance this season.
Oh, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And Anderson is a god. So there's like so much stuff to be excited about with Forest. It's just that at the moment,
do you think one of the big problems, Matt, might be phenomenal season last season, right? Absolutely remarkable.
Wasn't it great? Can we just reminisce about that?
But could you, or can you get the same again from Chris Wood? Can you get the same again from your goalkeeper, who I think might have been the best goalkeeper in the league? Your centre backs now. Can you? Is it possible to get the same again?
I think it is. And actually, the Brentford game, the first game of the season, we beat them comfortably and we looked great, and we played in a different style, and that was under Nuno. Betis away, as you say, the best performance we've had. As individuals, I mean, you could argue that we've strengthened, really. We lost Elanga to Newcastle, but Igor Jesus looks great. There are other players we brought in. Plus, Anderson has improved even since the start of the season. I mean, Murillo being injured doesn't help. Ola Aina does a lot for the squad, and he's injured.
He's fantastic.
So, crucial defensive. And Aina's one of those players that's crucial in like turning defence into attack. So without them, it's a bit harder. And we were more defensive as a unit, which obviously helped Sells out. If you play more open, there's more pressure on the keeper. So I am like open-minded as to why there are problems, but it's just so hard to watch. You think, we finally got into Europe. Now is
Oh, man. I feel for Ange. I do. I feel for him as a human being, but I feel more for myself that I want to see us winning.
Never mind, Ange. Never mind, Forrest. The first question we should really ask is, how are you? Because
very good.
A couple of years ago, diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer.
Yeah, that was tricky. And I think in that...
Tricky.
Don't worry about me, mate. Don't worry about me, mate. I've had cancer, mate. I've been through worse than this, mate. Don't you worry about me. But it's, it was a shock. And obviously your first priority, the first question asked was, is this going to shorten my life? Am I going to die? So when you don't, then obviously it's a huge relief. And I had the base of my spine removed and I can walk. It's a sort of, was on sticks for the first year or so. But I think it's miraculous what surgery can do. They got all the cancer out. I've got to live with a stoma and I have to self-catheterise and I'm dealing with erectile dysfunction as a result of it. But these are all great areas for comedy, really.
I love the way you see the positives in
this. You've got to, haven't you? As a comedian, you have to find the
Well,
light.
there you are. That's the question I was going to ask you. Did your profession as a comedian help you through that?
I think definitely. And I think also... my wife was phenomenal. Yeah. So my positivity relies on the excellent care that I had at a phenomenal hospital, the Royal National Orthopaedic up in Stanmore, and the people around me. But yeah, I think as a comedian, if you've got a platform to tell jokes about stuff, that's a real privilege. Yeah. And then even just with the colostomy bag and stuff, I was 40 when I was diagnosed. I just thought, oh my God, this is like my life is over. How am I going to go to football matches with a colostomy bag? But now that I don't poo the old way, I've got a lot more spare time. Although I am reading less.
Oh, man. But look, you are embarking on this mega tour, aren't you? It goes on for months.
Yeah.
It must be so difficult to cope with the stresses of that as well, isn't it?
You can tell you've had an hour from me, but can you?
He'll be gone for the next hour now.
It's great fun. I love being on the road, and it's so cool going to like different parts of the UK and meeting different people, and it's just being a comedian is a really great life.
Yeah.
So I love all that. I don't find it too stressful, and my stuff, it's a mixture of stuff about my body and the changes to it and stuff about poo and pee and erections and whatnot. But also, I do impress...
It's right up our street, isn't
exactly.
it? It's right up our street.
Well, this is it. A lot of the fellas who come see me are kind of,
Jeff and I.
The prostate community, should we put it that way? It's often not men my age that have to deal with this stuff, but, it can be... I think it's cathartic for people to see people talk about stress they've been through and find light in it.
Yeah.
And then I do Donald Trump impressions and stuff.
I was going to say, your sort of political satire. At the moment, your opportunities are vast, aren't they?
I want to pay tribute to both of you. You're great people, Steph Belling and Andy McCoist. Great people. And you know what, Andy? You're the best strikers Celtic ever had. And I know you're a big Catholic. It's so good. We should go to mass together. I know that you love to go to Catholic church down there in Wales, where you're from. It's a beautiful accent you got, by the way. And this is the best. I got to say, this is the best breakfast show probably there's ever been.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Good on you, mate.
Well, so look, it's the stand-up show, Defying Calamity. Is that named because of what's happened to you in the past couple of years? Or
that and I guess politically, whatever side you're on, it's not been a great few years, really. Yeah. So locally, nationally or globally, so it's a mixture of all those things about whether it's politics or my life or football, finding laughter in, difficult
just
times.
Getting back to the tour, I know we're running out of short of time. Getting back to the tour, when you go in, but you must be physically and mentally in a good place to go on the tour.
Oh, yeah. Certainly when I first came back, I was still on walking sticks on stage, and that was quite exhausting. So I was still recovering from major spinal surgery. But I think, you know what, in life sometimes you can think, I'll give myself a bit more time off. You're never going to be fully ready to go back, because there'll always be maybe a psychological barrier. You think, well, I've not done it for a while. I think as soon as you can physically get back, in a way, not push yourself too early, you've got to allow yourself to heal, but the only way to fully get over stuff is to kind of chuck yourself in. And I think there was a big life lesson in that for me sometimes, is that it's very easy to say, the easy thing is to stay at home. I'd rather get back out there, challenge myself a bit and,
Brilliant.
talk about poo.
Brilliant. When does it start, Matt?
Starts in January, goes through till June, and mattford.com for all your tickets.
Love it. Hey, mate, inspirational. Fantastic.
Oh, it's been a privilege.
Magic, mate.
Yeah.
Cheers, fella.
Very best of luck with
Brilliant. You heard it. Matt Ford's Defying Calamity Tour gets underway in January. Do not miss it. Matt, thanks very much indeed. Just quickly, frustrating winners. John Williams at Coventry in the 90s. The fastest man on earth. He had the speed of Carl Lewis. Sadly, also the crossing ability of Carl Lewis. That comes from Dawes. Thank you very much indeed, Dawes. Just gone 9 o'clock. Coming up, we turn our attention to Rangers. The next manager won't be Stephen Gerrard. So who will it be? We'll discuss that next. Sorry, Ali.
The Lions. Real-life fantasy rugby. Bitter rivalries set aside in a quest to create the world's best team in weeks. There's nothing like it, but who on earth had the idea and how did it all begin? Incredibly, the first Lions tour was organised and funded by 3 men who played in England's first ever Test cricket match: opening bowler Alfred Shaw, opening batsman Arthur Shrewsbury and captain James Lillywhite. The 1888 Lions squad, then made up of 17 English, 4 Scots and 1 Welshman and a Northern Irishman, took a 46-day boat trip to New Zealand before heading to Australia. The Lions weren't alone on the boat. Also on board were 300 stoats and weasels, who were brought over to eliminate New Zealand's rabbit problem. The first ever Lions captain, Robert Seddon, died of drowning midway through the tour while sculling on a river. Andrew Stoddart, who was another of the cricketers there, took over and was the star of the tour. The next one was the first to get official recognition from the RFU against the newly formed Springboks. Although the Lions won the series and beat the Boks again 5 years later, in the 12 series since in South Africa, they've only won 2. New Zealand has proved an even tougher hunting ground, just the 1 series win for the Lions in 11 attempts, which came in 1971. And then there was that nail-shredding drawn series in 2017, only the second in Lions history. Only once have the Lions clinched a series after losing the first test, 1989, when David Campese's infamous ghost pass was pounced upon by Ian Evans. Before World War II, the Lions had a dark blue strip, which on the 1930 tour forced the All Blacks to play in all white. So in 1950, the iconic red shirts, white shorts and blue and green socks combination was born. It remains the symbol of the greatest alliance of adversaries in all of sport. To borrow the phrase from Jim Telfer, the Lions is Everest.
Yeah, very good morning to you. It's 6 minutes past 9, Monday, October the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Lots to bring you between now and 10. Northern Ireland legend David Healy, scorer of that famous winner against England in 2005, and a lot of others as well, by the way. We'll be here to preview their qualifier against Germany tonight. Win, they go top of Group A. It is incredible. And at 9:30, one of the greatest strikers this isle has ever produced joins us live. Ian Rush scored, more than 350 goals for the likes of Liverpool, Juventus and Wales. He'll be along to look at their match this evening against Belgium. We'll ask him whether they can move a step closer to consecutive World Cups. Text coming from Ant in Pompey. He said, my goodness, if Matt Ford's interview doesn't inspire the talkSPORT audience, particularly men, then I don't know what will. Booking tickets now. Absolutely correct, Ant. He is. It's easy to say. He's a really inspirational character. The way, the way he's turned his misfortune into a positive is a real example to people. Nearly 8 minutes past 9. Rangers are going to have to go back to the drawing board.
You're simply the best. Number 55 is historic even by Rangers standards. The most successful football club in Europe will enjoy this success as much as any in their near 150 years. Steven Gerrard is a national champion at last.
He's done a great job up there. They're looking at him to save the football club that they have seen literally nosedive. Rangers cannot be below mid-table in the SPL.
I've loved it so far. I'd love another goal at some point. I want to change a few things and improve a few things and come back fresh with a few different people around myself. I'd love another couple of challenges doing this.
Now, it's our understanding that Steven Gerrard has turned down the opportunity to return to Rangers.
Coyce, does that surprise you that he's turned down the chance to go there? And why do you think that would be?
Well, no, it doesn't surprise me. It probably disappoints me a little bit, just selfishly. But listen, I don't know why he's turned it down. I genuinely don't. But, you know, there's rumours knocking about that he had to stay out of the country for a certain period of time, or it was going to cost him an awful lot of money in tax. I don't know whether that's true, but you would suggest that there's a distinct possibility it could be the case. And you're probably talking about numbers. See, I'm guessing here because I don't really know. But if it was the case, you're probably talking about numbers that could affect the generation of family. So that would be something you'd have to take into consideration if it's a financial
decision. You know, he's going to lose a lot of money. As I say, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing because I think the actual job itself would very much appeal to him. I think it's probably a good time to get the job because you would think that the new owners have got money to spend. I don't think the club, you know, the team can get any lower. I really don't. I think they obviously got to start moving up the league and producing better performances. Because some of the majority of the performances haven't been good enough.
Is it still an appealing job, Coisty? Because, you know, the demands are so humongous, and I think it was Cass saying that they can't afford to finish below mid-table. Well, they can't afford to finish really out of the top 2 or out of the top 1, can they?
No, you're right. They can't afford to finish at the top 1. I think it's pretty straightforward. If you're a Celtic manager, you've got to beat Rangers. Rangers manager, you've got to beat Celtic. History would tell you that. I mean, Aberdeen were a perfect example last year. Won the first 12 games and were absolutely flying, and then finished 20 points behind Rangers. Hearts this year might be different. They look as though they've got a wee bit more about them. And there's a couple of things Hearts have got going for them. They've got a good side. They've got an excellent manager, and they're probably up against 2 of the most average Rangers Celtic sides I can remember in a long, long time. And there's a train of thought which I actually buy into, that Rangers have been that poor, they've brought Celtic down. Because Celtic, in many ways, and it'd be interesting to hear the Celtic supporters' views, have kind of taken their eye off the ball and stood still, if not went back the way, because they've refused to press forward because they've looked across the city and think, oh, we've got them anyway, we'll sort them out, and that's all that matters. Whereas they haven't moved on at all. So Rangers and Celtic, I think, are poor, Jeff. I really do. I think both of them. I mean, we're obviously talking about Rangers, who are very poor and are without a manager at this moment in time. In answer to the job's always going to be appealing, right? Has it lost some of its appeal? I'm not so sure. That would be up for debate. It maybe has. Certainly, you're not going to get the same answer to me as you maybe because I'm a Rangers man. It'd never lose its appeal, and that's obviously that. I make no apology for saying that, but it's a heck of a job. I mean, if you get it right, it's a fantastic job, an absolutely fantastic job, and it's a big job. It's a massive, massive job. I mean, it's 24/7. I'm not sure, and I'm only guessing here, whether the new board, the new owners, and the last manager underestimated the size of the job and the task. I think, unfortunately for Russell Martin, he's now lost his job. But I think if there was any doubt with the chief executive and the head of football and the owners about how important it is to get the next one right, then they saw with the fan reaction.
Yeah.
You know, how important it is, and they've got to get it right.
A lot of names being banded around. Danny Rowe, I've seen being banded around out there. Michael Carrick, one newspaper's quoting today, Kevin Muscat, so on and so forth. Look, let's take a call from a Rangers fan who knows who he wants in next. Jamie has called in. Morning, Jamie.
Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. Morning, Coisty.
How are you? What are you thinking so far, and who would your choice be, mate?
Well, listen, there's a couple of... I was on All About the Jazz with Charlie Miller and Derek Ferguson last few times, obviously, doing the football agency stuff, Ali. I've not spoke to you for a long time. I wanted to call in just with my thoughts. I think, first and foremost, I think you're bang on with, in terms of the board, I think it's really imperative that Rangers get someone like yourself or a Graham Souness. Me personally, at the moment, I'd probably put David Weir as Director of Football. With a new manager installed. Now, obviously, Gerrard would have been one of my choices, along with Frank Lampard, who I thought would have been a great choice as well. But given the fact Coventry are sitting very high in that league, I think that would have been big compensation for Rangers. So that would have been my two choices. In Scotland, I think you've got a couple of choices. Obviously, Derek McInnes at Hearts, Steve Robinson at St Mirren, who's very underrated.
Agreed.
Is a possibility. I think maybe Barry Ferguson next to him, because Robinson knows the league inside out. That's the only two in Scotland, Coisty, that I would go for.
Yeah. It's funny, Jamie.
I don't know what you're thinking yourself.
No, I wouldn't disagree with that. I genuinely wouldn't. I think Derek... There's nobody in Scotland knows the Scottish game better than Derek. I genuinely don't think. I think the job Stephen Robinson's done at St Mirren's absolutely remarkable, to tell you the truth. I tell you what, where I do agree with you as well,
I think the Rangers fans clearly, want a good coach in and want a good manager in. But I think just as importantly, Jamie, and I think you might agree with me from what you've said, I think they need somebody in right into the club. Maybe not even the manager, maybe not even the coach, but they need somebody within the club that gets it, that knows what it's about. And I don't think we've got that. I mean, Greggy was the obvious one. Greggy's a living legend, but Greggy, I don't think Greggy's there. Well, I know Greggy's not there just as much, as he once was. Sandy Jardine. I'm talking about people like that. I'm talking about people that the Rangers supporters can relate to and know. They know how important it is to get results in the park, but clearly, and I think it's just as important, they know the values of the club off the park and things like that. So I think we need to get a good coach and a good manager to take the team forward. But the Rangers fans need a boost with somebody that gets it in there as well, I think.
Jamie, thank you very much indeed for the call. Here's a little suggestion. Kevin Glasgow said, I'd give John Terry the job with Jody Morris as his assistant. Morris knows the league. Terry will inspire. Coming at us, we turn our attention to Northern Ireland and the miraculous job that Michael O'Neill is doing there once again. That's next. Good morning, 20 minutes past 9, Monday, October the 13th. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. 2 months to the World Darts Championship at the Ali Pali, one of the great sporting occasions. And in the build-up, what a performance by Luke Littler. Demolished Luke Humphries, really.
And it just 6-1, wasn't it?
Grand Prix final, yes.
I mean, fantastic. I mean, some couple of great performances at the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, OKR obviously winning the Challenge Cup, brilliant performance against Wigan, and Luke Littler. I mean, I couldn't see him. I could see him winning it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see him dismantling him.
You know what he's going to do today? The World Youth Championships are taking place in Wigan, and he's going to play.
Is he really?
So good luck to the rest, eh?
Is he really?
Yeah, incredible.
Isn't that great?
Fantastic. He's got that appetite.
It's a catch-22 for the rest of the players, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great to have him, but not really great to have him.
But they'd love to play against him, wouldn't they? Love to play against him. Couple of Rangers shouts for manager. Colin, who's an Everton fan. Morning, Ali and Jeff. What about Big Dunk for the Rangers manager?
I said earlier, Jeff, I think we need people that know the club and get it in and around it. I'm not sure Big Dunk for the manager, but another one I mentioned, Dunk and Davy Weir, guys like that, I think are imperative to being around it. Just guys that know the club, Durant, boys like that know the club, and the fans know there's a kind of safety valve feeling with supporters when they know there's people in there that get it, and I think it's so important.
Paul takes a different tack. He said my shout would be for David O'Leary. Doubt he would accept, but he's the best outsider.
Yeah.
It's been out of management for a while, hasn't it? I don't get why, not whether he wants to be in management, because he's a bloomin' good operator, that is for sure. Look, let's turn our attention to tonight, shall we? What a game at Windsor Park this evening as Northern Ireland take on Germany. 3 teams at the top of that group. They've all got 6 points. Germany, Slovakia and Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland win. They go top of the pile. Absolutely incredible. Let's find out how likely a massive shock is with their former striker, David Healy. Morning, David.
Good morning, David.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Super Ali.
How are you, my pal? Great to speak to you.
Good. Yeah, good to see you.
Life treating you well, mate?
Life's well, yeah. Life's good. I'm a granda now. I'm still managed at Linfield, 10 years tomorrow.
I know that,
so
mate. Is that 10 years tomorrow, mate?
10 years tomorrow, yeah. Must make you feel old.
By the way, it does. And the thing that's really disappointing me is I'm looking at that beard and there's hardly any grey on it, mate.
There's a bit,
No,
a little bit.
To be fair, you were responsible for mine going grey at one point. To be fair, to you.
Absolutely.
Hey, David, look. I mean, what a transformation under Michael O'Neill. What has he done with Northern Ireland?
He's brought back that no fear. Michael, obviously, getting to the Euros in 2016 was a huge accomplishment, huge achievement for the country, Michael, the players. But certainly at the minute, the average age of the squad is so young at the minute. They go in, there's zero fear. The performance levels the other night, the energy against Slovakia was incredible. They were unfortunate probably in Germany the first time they played them. The game swung
they
with a couple of substitutions, but performance levels was good. The crowd are excited. If anybody I've spoken to over the weekend, they're desperate for the Germans to come and we're going to win the group. That's what they're telling me.
I'll tell you what though, David, I mean, it's a realistic proposition. I mean, if you said at the start of the campaign, you know, one or two might have said, well, that's optimism, but looking at it, and you mentioned the young lads, you sometimes think with young lads you get a little bit of inconsistency, but you've had anything but that in the group because the level of consistency and the level of performance has been extremely high.
There's probably a little bit of concern about probably a little bit of naivety at times, but again, certainly the other night, the importance of the game against Slovakia beating them, and the no fear attitude going into it. Sometimes older players can probably overthink occasions, overthink games. But with the naivety and youthful nature of the players the other night, they went out and they basically run over the top of Slovakia. Slovakia had a brilliant result against Germany early in the group. So for our performance and our result, and people would sort of said Slovakia weren't great the other night, Michael O'Neill and Northern Ireland didn't let Slovakia be useful the other night. They stopped, they pressed high, they went after the ball, and in possession, which again, Northern Ireland over the years have been traditionally hard to beat. I thought we were very good in possession the other night.
Yeah, I mean, look, I watched the game. I thought they were absolutely brilliant. We keep hearing about Thomas Tuchel talking about it's all about the team. Well, that's what Northern Ireland have got. And I don't want to, cast a black cloud over it all, but the absence of Conor Bradley, they're going to miss him this evening. Oh, by the way, it was a nonsense yellow card, wasn't it? It was never a yellow card.
Yeah, it was such a poor yellow card. Again, I know Michael's frustration after the game as a manager. Such a key player. Conor was incredible the other night. His performance levels was so high. Picking up the yellow card, you know, it wasn't even in the offensive half of the pitch. It was basically a nothing tackle at the edge of the box. Michael had questioned one or two decisions beforehand. And I think the referee maybe got a little bit frustrated and maybe took it out on the Northern Ireland captain, who was Conor Bradley the other night. So he'll certainly be a huge miss tonight. His appetite, his energy and his quality, that'll be a huge miss tonight. But again, probably opens the door to a Brodie Spencer coming in, who again hasn't let Northern Ireland down when he's played.
Dave, it's amazing. It's a kind of crazy thing to say, and it's also a probably dangerous thing to say. But it looks as though it's a reasonable time to play in Germany.
Yeah, again, I felt so comfortable the last time we played Germany. Normally when you play the top nations, you know, they come out of the traps and they're guns blazing. But Northern Ireland got to half-time, very comfortable last time when it was one each. Nagelsmann was getting a little bit of stick off his home support. They come out and I don't think they got any better. They got a wee bit of fortune. And again, Valdemara actually changed the game. Last time he went off and Beer and Amiri, who come on, Amiri ultimately scored the second goal. Vert scored an unbelievable free kick for the third goal. But the game didn't change until a little bit of energy. Northern Ireland were comfortable marking Valdemara until he went off. I know he's had a brilliant start in the Premier League with Newcastle. Looks as if he's slotted in there nicely. But in terms of the Germans, I think this Germany team they're certainly not at the level of some of the previous successful German teams. You know, I don't think there's a real out-and-out sort of goal scorer. You know, there's certainly no Klinsmanns and even Miroslav Klose, Thomas Müller.
Yeah.
You know, players like that. I don't think there's any of those sort of level of players. Interestingly, the last time Northern Ireland played, Goretzka and Pavlovic didn't play. They played on Friday night, so it looks as if the Bayern sort of midfield, Gnabry's or Kimmich, you know, they do have good players, but I don't think there's any real standout world-class players there at the minute.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Nagelsmann under a lot of pressure. Not everyone impressed with that win against Luxembourg either. Be sweet revenge this as well, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be brilliant.
Well, Nagelmann's been hammering Northern Ireland for their performance in the first game when he accused them of being boring and dull. He said football characterised by long balls. Well, I didn't see any of that. I thought the Irish were brilliant over there.
I think it was a little bit disrespectful, and by all accounts, there's an apology without a real apology in our Northern Ireland papers today, where he's basically tried to apologise but hasn't. He still sort of called them long balls. I think he's called it long balls this time with a purpose instead of just a long ball team the last time.
Yeah.
So knowing Michael, knowing the way Michael operates and he works, I've no doubt he would have mentioned to the staff and the players in the lead up into the game. He's not gonna publicly come out and sort of call the Germans out. That would be unwise. But Michael's smart, good enough, and he'll have mentioned the players, no doubt, in the lead into the game.
David, love it.
David, brilliant to see you, mate.
Yeah.
We're coming over to see you. Tell everybody at the Blues we're asking for them. We'll be over to see you soon, mate.
And desperately hope they get a result tonight. It'd be brilliant.
I appreciate that. Cheers, Jeff.
Take care, mate. All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was shocked when we had John Hills on from Coral earlier on, 7-1. I think that's a massive price against the German side, who look pretty ordinary.
Right, I'm putting you in the spot here. What game are you watching tonight?
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I'll probably watch Northern Ireland. You know.
I know. I think.
It's such a fairy story, isn't it? If they could win that, Wales equally. Wales Belgium is an incredibly appealing game.
Well, that's the word. Two really appealing games for us to watch.
Yeah,
I'm going to attempt to get both on at the same time.
Yeah. One eye on each.
Yes,
absolutely. Talking of which, coming up, we go from a Northern Ireland legend to a Welsh legend, because Ian Rush is with us next.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Good morning, very nearly 9:35. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist and Arnold Clark. Get £750 off any used electric car or home charger. Tom's a Stoke fan, and he says Michael O'Neill deserves all the plaudits he's getting at the minute. He's probably the best manager Stoke have had since relegation to the Championship. Dug us out of a massive hole financially and steadied the ship. Great bloke as well.
I've got to make a quick apology. I think I said it was a challenge final. The whole KR one.
It was the grand final.
Yeah. So apologies to everybody. Congratulations again.
Yeah, it was the thought that counts.
Yes.
That's the truth. Now then, Belgium drawing 0-0 at home to North Macedonia on Friday means Wales's World Cup dreams are very much in their own hands now. If Craig Bellamy's side win their 3 remaining games, starting at home with Belgium this evening, they'll qualify for next summer's tournament in the US. And the Wales boss says he is ready for it.
This is like exactly the opportunity you want, but at the same time as well, and this is how I work, like my psyche works, it's not all over if it doesn't happen. Trust me. Like, we adapt, we go again. I'm prepared if we win. I'm prepared if we draw, I'm prepared if we lose.
I'm not so sure about that. I sort of feel this is a must-win game. You know, because Belgium have got games against Kazakhstan and Liechtenstein to come. 6 points is just about certain. And that means realistically,
in terms of winning
they
the
want
group,
to top the group. They want to top the group. Yeah, they have to win.
I would suggest you're correct with that assumption.
And then they've got Liechtenstein and a big final game at home to North Macedonia. Let's build up to what's a huge night for Wales then by saying a very good morning to the legend that is Ian Rush. Morning, Rushy.
Morning, Rushy.
Morning, lads.
So, Ian, what do you think? Is this a must-win as far as Wales are concerned?
No, I wouldn't. I won't probably disagree with you there. I don't think it's a must-win game. I think it could actually come down to the last game, North Macedonia. It's the thing in Wales' advantage. They've got 2 home games. They've got Liechtenstein away, which I'd expect them to win that. Mm-hmm. So I think the home advantage could be the difference.
Rushy, tell me, getting back to the game on was it Thursday against England? I mean, we're all sitting here with hindsight saying, and it's not the best thing to do. Where did you sit on it before the game? Did you think it was a good thing to get into a game like that with such an important game coming up? Because you can look at it both ways.
I think you look at when there's no friendly when Wales play England anyway.
Yeah.
First of all, it's but I think it's something to do with most probably UEFA. I think Wales had to play a friendly game against them, otherwise I think they'd lose money. So from that point of view, but when Wales play England, there's no friendly game.
Yeah, you're completely right. Look, Craig Bellamy, I think the consensus is that he's done an absolutely brilliant job as Wales manager. Has he surprised you at all?
No, he hasn't surprised me. I think he's changed. I think he's a bit different as a manager as he was as a player, as we all know.
Yeah.
But I think he's very experienced now. He's done a fantastic job so far. But the main job is to get us to the World Cup.
Looking at him, Rushy, it's amazing because I actually think he's a really good listen. I enjoy his interviews and enjoy the way he talks about the game. He's clearly incredibly passionate. I mean, Wales, as we know and as you know better than MD, had brilliant sides and absolutely tremendous players, but couldn't make World Cups and European Championships. If they could do it again, I mean, it'd be some record that they're on, some run that they're on.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic if he did. Obviously, when we qualified for the World Cup, most probably mainly down to Gareth Bale, wasn't it? But we haven't got them individuals anymore. But it's more as a team, as Craig would say as well. I think it's not the individuals, it's more as a team, and he's got them working as a team. But it's going to be a big test tonight.
Mm. Yeah, and it will be a big test. I mean, they played really well in Belgium, didn't they? And they lost out to that late Kevin De Bruyne goal. This is not a Belgian side of the quality of previous Belgian teams, is it?
No, I think they most probably underachieved. I think at one stage, I would say they most probably had the best team in the world, but they didn't win the World Cup. And they're still not as good as what they were a few years ago, but they're still a strong team. But I'm just banking on the home, because we're at home. I think the crowd will be fantastic tonight, and hopefully that'll make the difference.
You touched on it there, and I'm going to ask you again on that, Russia, the importance of the home advantage, because I'm just looking at your last 4 competitive games at the Cardiff City Stadium. You've scored 11 goals, by the way, so clearly home advantage that you mentioned before is something that is vital and you want to use to your advantage.
Yeah, without doubt. I think that's what it's all about. They've been fantastic. I think there will be goals in the game tonight. Hopefully for Wales, but I say we got 2 home games. It could actually go down to when North Macedonia, they're the surprise team in our group at the moment.
They're sitting top, Russia. I was just mentioning, I couldn't believe it. I mean, they're sitting top at this moment in time.
They haven't lost a game.
I know.
So when you look at that, it's going to be interesting to see that. So even if we win tonight, it's still be interesting because you want to guarantee by finishing top, or if you finish second, you're in the playoff. But it's an interesting group.
Rushy, want to move you on to Liverpool if we can. What are you made of their start to the season?
Yeah, well, we're second in the table, so it can't be a bad start. We haven't been playing well, but we've been winning. But the last 3 games we've lost, so maybe the international break done us a favour. So, and then you go back to the next game is Manchester United at home. So it's going to be, I think that'll be a big game for us.
Rushy, where are you? Nobody better qualify than yourself to talk, and I'm really intrigued to hear your opinions on forward players. Ekitike for me is one I've really enjoyed watching. He obviously made the mistake and ended up getting sent off. Isak, I think, is absolutely top class. Where are you at with the Liverpool forwards at this moment in time?
Well, I think Isak, he just needs match fitness at the moment, because what happened in the summer, I think he's still not match fit. So we've got to bring him in slowly. Ekitike, he's been fantastic for us. He's most probably the main man at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think we just got to let time see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the three straight defeats, but 2 of those have been to added time goals and 1 to a penalty. So it's not all doom and gloom, is it? Is there any prospect he could play? I mean, look, Liverpool got plenty of alternatives up front, but would he consider playing Isak and Ekitike together?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think you have to look at all the options. And the most important thing with Arne Slot as well is that he looks at the opposition and he decides who to play when he sees the opposition. So it wouldn't surprise me, Jeff.
Rushy, you going to the game tonight? You working tonight at the game?
Yes, I'm in Cardiff at the moment.
Brilliant,
getting ready for all the warm-ups, so I'm ready for the game.
Smashing, Paul.
And so away, we're rooting for Wales, mate.
100%.
Thanks a lot, lads.
Cheers, Ian.
Thanks very much
indeed.
Take care, thanks.
What about that? Wales, Northern Ireland win double.
Oh, mate. I mean, how good would that be, seriously? How good would that be?
To win this group.
And by the way, not as far-fetched.
No, it's not. It's not. But to win this group, for me, Wales have to win this game. Have to win this game. You know, if Belgium were to pick up a point here, they'd still be a point ahead of Wales, and then they have 2 games away in Kazakhstan, home to Liechtenstein, and they'll win those 2 games.
Yeah, they will.
So, you know.
But Wales could beat them. I'm telling you right now,
Yeah,
Wales could win today.
They certainly could. And, you know, Craig Bellamy said he feels something special coming.
Yeah.
You know, and he hasn't got much wrong so far.
I hope he's right again.
Brilliant.
I do.
Jamie's texted and said, lads, on the Rangers manager front, how about a dream team of Ali and Gaza? I could guarantee the boys will be playing with a smile on their faces. Not sure if it would actually make them any better, but it would be one hell of a time for the players.
The dreaming team, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a... Well, we'll ask Gaza when he comes in, shall we?
He's coming in to see Jim and Simon, isn't
he? He is, yeah. Ali and Gaza together in charge of Rangers. Blimey. We'd give the place an uplift, wouldn't it? That's for sure. And 9:43 coming up, we turn our attention to Jordan Pickford as he's set to sign a new contract at Everton. Good morning, 9:48. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. Before we get into Ask Ali, let's take a quick call. Stevie's a United fan. He wants to talk about a certain managerless club. I wonder who that could be. Could be Hartlepool. Who is it, Stevie?
Morning, Stevie.
You've got it right, Jeff, straight away. Morning, boys. Are you us okay?
We're in top
good,
form, mate. We're in top form. On you go. The floor's yours.
Well, the truth, Hartlepool are the Watford of the National League now, aren't we?
Oh, we certainly are.
Total joke.
Oh, you guys, you are talking about Hartlepool, yeah? Oh no, I couldn't agree more with you, Stevie. You know,
They whinge about the money and all that, Jeff, but it must be costing them to pay these managers off all the time and the backroom staff. So you know what I mean? It's just getting beyond the joke now.
Got to get a bit of stability, mate. Need to get a bit of stability, huh?
Well, he hasn't done bad, Simon Grayson and all that. You know what I mean? It's not as though it was like they've been getting whacked.
No, we can't put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, that's the problem. We haven't got any creativity in the side. Defensively, nice and strong. But I agree with you about the stability. We need a manager in for a minimum of 18 games in the future, as opposed to the 17 that most of them have lasted in the past. So, you know.
I mean, that's five managers in 12 months or something, I've been told.
No, it is. Yeah, Nicky Featherstone will be the fifth in 12 months. Darren Sarll was sacked this time last year.
That's right,
You know. And since then, of course, we've been through Lenny Lawrence and Anthony Limbrick and Simon Grayson, and now the chalice falls to Nicky Featherstone.
Sweeney was in charge for a bit, interim and helping out and all that, caretaker manager, Wally Sweeney and all.
Yeah. Everyone's had a go. Stevie, what are you doing for the next few months? Maybe you should put your hat in the ring.
Oh, no, I'm a goalkeeping coach at Billingham Town. We're in the FA Vars on Saturday against Brick Town.
Oh, brilliant, mate.
Brilliant, mate.
This Saturday coming up?
Yeah, this Saturday, so if you give them a shout out.
Good luck, mate. Stevie,
best of luck, mate. Thanks for the call.
Right, cheers, thank you.
All the best.
Right, let's take a look at today's top headlines in Ask Ali, thanks to Movember.
Get ready with Movember on talkSPORT. For the stars is calling. Grow and mow, raise funds, save lives. Sign up now at Movember.com.
Ask me. Back to McCoist. The goal's been coming, and it's supplied once again by Ali McCoist.
Chop. I just used to chop it back over the net.
Hi there, it's Sean Dyche here. You're listening to the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast Show.
Can't it be a bit AC/DC, man? But the football ground, it's pardon me.
I'm saying a mongoose. Yeah, but it's a mongoose-like creature. It might be the mongoose, in fact.
Marvellous! You've got no idea. I used to be quite well respected in footballing circles.
So ask me.
Yeah, time for Ask Ali. Topic 1, straight into it. Palace co-owner, Chairman Steve Parish, special guest on the Sunday edition yesterday. He was asked whether the Premier League should resist following in the footsteps of La Liga by taking domestic games abroad.
You know, I don't want to be complacent, but we don't really need to do that. And of course, you can't recreate the experience of a Premier League ground in any of these places. We see this from the friendly things that we do around America. I think they're good promotional things, but then that's not a Premier League game. That's not the atmosphere that you get at a Premier League game. That's not what makes it unique. So, I would say if anybody wants to come and experience it, come to a Premier League game. I'm sure you can find a way to get a ticket. I don't see us doing it. I can see the reason La Liga are trying to do it. The Premier League and the Premier League exec are doing such an outstanding job, in media rights around the world, that along with the Champions League, UCC, really, it's crushing everybody else's media income. There is only so much media money in the world, and it's a fight for share of that media income. And this is the thing. The Premier League's real challenges are, UCC, Club World Cup, these are the things that are our competitors, without being in any way complacent. We really are light years ahead of other European leagues in terms of revenue, and I don't think there's anything to be gained by doing it.
Yeah, with the NFL bringing games here, the La Liga game taking place in the States. You see, there's a Serie A game taking place in Australia.
I saw that.
Which is staggering. This is a question that's going to keep on getting asked.
Of course it is. Steve's 100% right. The one thing that the Premier League, I don't mean they don't need it, and he's keen and correct to say not to get complacent. but it's as popular and it's as probably wealthy and it's as in demand as it's ever been, the top flight football in this country. And that's great, and long may it stay there. I understand clubs and sports in different leagues want to sell their sport and sell their club. I get it totally, and a way to do that is to travel over to America, you know, and it's no surprise that La Liga, which used to be the top league, and Serie A, which used to be the top league back in the 80s, La Liga probably the 90s, so they're probably trying to find something that they've lost. You know, English Premier League doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. But the question would be, are they leaving themselves open by not doing it? You know, is it still an opportunity to go and promote yourself? I really don't know. And I don't know what the finances would be, Jeff. But all I would say is, flip side of the coin, you look at Wembley yesterday, Wembley last week, with NFL, you can't, I beg your pardon, Tottenham. You can't even get a ticket. You can't get a ticket. So there's clearly demand here for the sport of the NFL, and a lot of the American fans would travel. Why would you not? A weekend in London, if you can afford it and you're lucky enough to do it, yes. Flip side of the coin, if there was a game in New York and some fans can afford it and it appealed to them, yeah. But I'm not so sure that's got the same appeal. You know,
and you used the right word. Some fans could afford it.
Yeah.
I think most fans would be horrified. Yeah. They'd be up in arms about the prospect of one of their precious games being played thousands of miles away.
Why would you need it? And then you've got the discussion of, I know it's a petty thing at this moment in time, but home advantage, is it, you know, a league game or a cup game, all these things you need to get into. I personally right now don't think it should happen. I'm not saying it won't happen sometime in the future, Jeff, but at this moment in time, not for me. I love the product. I absolutely love the product we've got. I think it's the best by a mile. I think we've got the best players. I think we've got the best teams. I really do think that, and I'm quite happy with it at this moment in time in here.
Yeah. Now, we're going to skip topic 2 and go straight on to topic 3 because time is against us. The latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily podcast available now. European football expert Andy Brassell joins Adrian Durham to count down the top 5 most hostile stadiums they've visited across Europe. That's ahead of the England trip to Latvia tomorrow. Ali, what would your most hostile stadium be?
No doubt about it. Belgrade, Serbia. And England did the perfect thing. Scored early on. And it becomes a totally different environment. But the twice I was there, I mean, we got a 3-0 down over there the year they won it. I think I mentioned it before, a ridiculous team, Panchev, Prozinecki, Mihailovic. They had an absolutely superb team, one of the great teams in the 90s. And we, by the way, we had a good team. I think Butcher and Souness and all those boys, and they gave us a 3-0, and it could have been anything. But the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. And then we did on the way to the final in 2008, I think it was. We got nothing each year, and it's what makes it even more intimidating. There's a tunnel you've got to walk through, Jeff, which is maybe, I mean, it feels like 100 yards, but it's certainly 50. And all the armed police, helmets on, riot shields, it's all that kind of stuff. Then you come out. That for me, definitely the most intimidating. I mean, Turkey, you know, would probably come into the equation as well, but Belgrade for me by a distance.
Just from a non-player's point of view, Napoli by a million miles.
Yeah.
Million miles for me. I mean, I was there for Napoli against Chelsea in the Champions League, and the Chelsea fans were caged in under netting, and that was for their own protection from the Napoli fans who were above them and around them and would just throw things down on top of them. The Napoli fans would get in, and they'd be there 5 hours before, lighting fires on the terraces. And as I was working in TV at the time, and the TV compound, Napoli fans massed around the outside, and they would throw plastic bottles full of urine into the TV compound.
Nice.
That is what you call taking the mickey. Didn't enjoy it one jot. Thanks, Koshi. Absolutely loved
it, mate. We'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning. Great guest tomorrow, the Stevenage boss. Wow, what a season they're having. Alex Revel will be on, and former Aussie cricket captain Tim Payne. Up next, though, special morning. Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Martin Keown, and they will be joined by Gaza. Bye-bye from us.
Brilliant.
Get ready with November on talkSPORT. Grow a moustache, raise funds, save lives, and change the face of men's health. Sign up now at November.com.
I want to pay tribute to both of you. You're great people. Steph Belling and Andy McCoist. Great people.